How's it going? We're back. Patterdale Talk Wednesdays. And you know how we do. It's brought to you by Live Your Life Dogs, sponsored by the NEPTC and the PTCA, of course. I'm here with my good friend Nick Fox, and I interviewed him back a couple months ago, or maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, back when me and Marshall, shout out to my bro Marshall, um, back when we kind of first started the live. I think Nick was maybe like the first out of the first like 10 people. And I want to say I appreciate you again for that, Nick. You know what I mean? Because you was one of the people,
Yeah.
getting us going. But
hmm
yeah, man, glad to have you back here. I mean, you know what it is now. Well, we're just gonna talk Patterdale, talk some new things you got going on, some what you got planned for the summer, new dogs. Of course, I'm gonna talk about what I got going on, but I'm here every week, so people kind of know what I'm I'm doing. You know what I mean? But and
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
we'll just talk Patterdale. We might have some other people that hop on here with us. But yeah, how you been, man? How you been? How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Been good. Finally getting out of winter, ready to get the dogs back out. Kind of give myself an off season to heal dogs and get dogs bred and stuff like that. I was counting on a litter this year, and I finally made it happen. I, uh, so I was like, been kind of just dealing with puppies and making sure that I
I
didn't
never
lose
thought
them.
about that. That's kind of not to cut you off. That's kind of I guess that's one of the pros of where we live, where you could get a lot of snow and stuff like that. Is where
hmm
it gives you time to get your dogs fully healthy, fully in shape. Maybe do some breeding if you want to, because if it was hot year round, we be our dogs would probably be beat up year round.
Yeah,
We go hunting.
I had to force myself to keep that little bitch of mine up because I enjoy hunting her so much, and
Hmm.
I had to make the litter happen. So I was like, she's gonna have to sit in the kennel, and she hated it. I mean, I have her in like real nice aluminum mossy kennels, and I got home from work one day, and I just caught a black flasher underneath my porch, and there she was just running wild, and I'm like, she ain't gonna do it. So then she became an inside dog, and then she was bred. Um, she was bred about 2 weeks out from having the pups, and she got it. And I usually just let her out when I'm kenneling dogs, just let her run out. And I had a Garmin on her, and the Garmin quit working. Like it showed her, and like it had connection, it had her at 21 yards. So I walked over to where she was at, and she was not there. So I'm like, here we go. So I took off, and luckily we had snow, so I hopped on my snowmobile and I foot tracked her back into the woods about I'm guessing it's 900 yards easy from my house, and
Hmm.
tracked her into a concrete pile. And she's in there. Like I didn't know she was in there. I tracked her up to it, but then there were tracks going beyond it, and she wasn't making any noise, nothing. So I'm walking back, and I'm like Hail Mary holding the shock button, hoping it connects one time so I can get a yipe out her and get her location. And she went in there, and friggin' sure enough, she come out. Her eyes were swelled shut. Her face was all rubbed raw from rubbing on the concrete. And I'm like, so now I'm like doctoring them. I called my vet, and I was like, what antibiotics can I use? And she was like, Clavamox it's okay or whatever. So I, of course, I got multiple opinions. Doug Tack, I called him, or my partner called Doug Tack and was like, oh yeah, Doug said that's fine. So I just went ahead. I said at that point, I was like, the female's worth more than the pups at this point. So I started treating her, cleaned her eyes out, flushed her eyes out, and then I noticed about 3 days in, because I do a pretty good job of washing eyes, and must not have got all the fines out from the concrete,
Hmm.
and her eye was starting to glass over, and I'm like, no, this ain't good. I'm like, this
Here
ain't
we
good. So
go.
I took
Yeah.
her to the vet again, and which I mean, I have Clavamox on hand. I keep that shit on me like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I probably have more dog antibiotics in the house than I do people.
Yeah,
To be
you
honest
need
with you.
them. I mean, yeah. I don't know if you've seen that post I posted with like the whole process that my cousin Keith taught me is like, and one thing we definitely do after every hunt is spray out them. We got eye cleaner, but they got the one now that that you could spray, and it works perfect because you could like hold their eye open and like spray, and you'll just see the shit just falling out. You know what I mean? And Biggs had a dog one time where it was covering over, and I used that, and the next morning shit was like gone. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
just
good
use a
stuff.
regular saline bottle and just let her have it.
Yeah, that works. Here goes Brandon.
What's up,
Brandon
Wood?
locked in with us. How's it going?
Good, you?
I'm good. I'm good. We got our friend Nick Foxon over here with us today.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
How's
you
it
know
going?
it should be a good dog talk. No, right now he's just you could get back to what you were saying. I guess he was just talking about a little about how the dog he had, you know, was cleaning out the
Got
kennels
out
and
and
she
got
got
fucked
away,
up.
had to track her
Yeah.
down. But I'll let you keep going, Nick.
Yeah, so her eye glassed over, and I took her into the vet, you know, and I asked her, you know, I said, I know eyes are nothing to fuck with, and she goes, well, here we go with the we'll give you this, and they did a test on both eyes, and oddly enough, the eye that was glassed over had like the start of an ulcer almost, but not, it wasn't an ulcer, it was like she called it like a
Sty?
indentation or something. Yeah, not a sty, it was like a, I don't know what she called it. She had some fancy term for it, but to me, it was like a scratch on the eye, but it wasn't near as bad as the clean eye. The clean eye was the one that had the start of an ulcer, like it was holding the dye. So I was like, well, shit. So I treated that, and she was fine. And the pups we had good pups. I mean, we had 4 pups start out with. I lost the runt. She started losing weight, and I'm assuming what happened is she laid on it. But you know, it's her first litter. So I mean, I was expecting to lose one. I mean, shit happens, especially with the young mom, especially the first time with her being bred. And I couldn't get a live tie, so I had to AI her. That was a trip. I ain't doing that again. That's weird. I'm taking somebody to do it. So luckily the girl who's whelping her is whelping them for me. She's the one who AI'd them and stuff. So it took, and I got lucky. I didn't think it was going to happen, honestly. Could never catch her in heat. Finally caught her in heat. And I tried getting them to tie. And of course, come in heat when I was out of town. So my roommate and a couple of buddies tried getting them to tie when they were doing chores, and she wouldn't let him mount. But after talking to my vet,
go ahead.
After talking to my
just go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I'll wait. I'll wait. Brandon's left. I'll wait. Go ahead. I'll wait.
My vet goes, a lot of times if they grow up together and hunt together a lot, they won't let a male tie. Well, that would be I mean, they lived in the house together for, ever, until I moved them all outside just recently, you know, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a trip. It was an experience for sure.
Yeah. So when you say what was I gonna say? You said the heat. You missed the heat. What do you like? And that was me and my cousin was actually talking about that the other day. Do you mean like it happened and you just didn't notice, or like she just hasn't went in heat in a year or something? Because you know some dogs will just skip that 6 months or whatever it is, whatever, you know, 4, 5, 6 months or whatever and just go and just, you know, go in the heat every once a year or every other, you know what I mean?
The Jags, noticeably the Jags, for some reason, are real goofy about heat cycles sometimes. Sometimes they're right on, sometimes they're not. And I talked to my breeder about it, and he goes, sometimes they just won't. And he's like, well, he goes, you can try this, this, and this, and nothing worked. And I put her on a supplement I got from, because I'm obviously in one of everybody breeds dogs around here. The Amish breed them, you know, puppy mill them and stuff. So I got her on a Breeder's Edge supplement, and I don't know if it was that, but she come in within 2 days. It was wild. I gave it to her, and I looked at her, and I'm like, there ain't no way.
Did a what? So say that again.
I put her on a Breeder's Edge supplement. I can't remember what the name of it was. But I gave her that for 2 days, and she come in like instantly. It was the wildest thing I ever experienced. Like, I didn't think she ever was going to come in. But the supplement, you just put it on their food. It was like a powder, and it brought her in. It brought her in.
Is that what it's made for, or?
Yeah, it's so there is a it had something. I think it has something to do with their thyroid. I want to say. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But there's 2 supplements out there. The Breeder's Edge stuff that I used, and then there's another one by Elite Nutrition called Thyroid. And I was asking, a lot of the guys who had, breed a bunch of dogs, and they said this Thyroid will get them to come in, which I didn't try out. I was using the other stuff, and she came in. Whether it was, by chance or the supplement, I'm toss it up. I don't know, because I was questioning my water. Because I've heard, if you have hard water, sometimes the water won't make them come in. Because like a lot of the old hounds guys used to put copper wire in them in their bowls, and they wouldn't come into heat. And then you pull them off of that, and then they'd come in. So there's it. I don't know whether it was a stroke of luck or it just happened. But and I also have a thing where like I don't like to breed a dog till it has 3 hard seasons on it. So like I really wasn't paying attention to her heat cycle. I was hunting her. I just wanted to make sure that she was going to keep doing it and be consistent at it and not like quit or have a fluke or hit a plateau. But she just seemed to always do what I wanted her to. So if she was at 3 years, I was like, she's got to get bred this year. It's not going to happen. So
yeah. Oh, we got some people saying a couple things in the comments. Okay, live your life, Nick. Guardian, good evening. Shout out to you. Car Care, been a fan of the Patterdale my whole life. I only own APBT, but they are great little dogs. Yes, for sure. Fix Moxie is handy. Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about
the one that hot heifer stuff from South Bottom? I was talking to actually Daenerys' wife. She said that she used that and she didn't have any effect on it. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I kind of played around with it, and I wanted to do it natural. I didn't want to give her the shot to get her to come in. I could have done that, but the supplement worked, and I'm hoping she comes right back in, about 6 months, and then because I'm gonna run this cross right back. I had too much interest in it not to. So I'm hoping they should turn out. They're the male's staying with me, and then sending one pup out to California, and the other one's going to Roy Farabee in Idaho. And I told Roy, I said, put her on, test her, do whatever you want to do. Let me know, and let me know if it's worth breeding too again. And he's like, send her out here. I promised two boys out in Idaho, a dog, but one of the girls that I sold the dog to in California, her dog got hit. So I called his buddy and I was like, hey man, I'll put you on the next litter. And Travis Hire, he called me, he goes, Nick, you need to get that little dog's pups out to people's hands. She's something special. So I said, I'll put you on the next one, because he's got a young dog he's getting ready to get finished. So it's gonna work out in the end.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, long as it works out in the end. Out in the end.
Yeah.
That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
A question for now you were saying the Yags have a
I had to.
They have like a reputation of having a and this is actually one thing. This is actually a great thing to talk about, because we talk about a lot about the Patterdales, and this is actually one thing we haven't spoke about is and anyone, as far as like anyone locked in with us, Brandon, Nick, anyone in the chat, and I get to some of the chats. I see y'all in here. I appreciate y'all. I like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Everyone who's in there saying something, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna get to the chat in a minute. But is there a pattern with the Patterdale Terriers as far as the heat? Like you said, the Yag is kind of like jumpy, and there's no, like, sometimes they just, has anyone, and Jamie's in here, Nick, I know you know about Patterdales and stuff like that. I never bred Patterdales. I bred yeah, my whole life I only bred pit bulls, but yeah, is there, and have you noticed, do they have like a weird cycle like Yogs, or seem to be on
I don't.
point, or
I haven't been around. I haven't been around. Like I said, I have one Patterdale in my yard, and then I have my Jag Pat that I really like.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't know much about them. It seems like Ray and those guys seem to have good luck with their bitches coming in heat pretty normal, pretty regular.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the line, and I had people telling me,
Yeah, it could always be
oh
genetic.
yeah, and everybody's like, oh, don't make the cross. It's gonna throw inconsistent bitches, yada yada yada, And I was like, it didn't make a difference to me. I bred what works for me, and that's how I've always bred. I've never really bred for the masses. I just breed for what pretty much works to work, and that's how I've always been. Even when I ran hounds, that's what I bred, was work to work.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really try to. I mean, I'll pay attention to the pedigrees, but if the dog works, the dog works. That's how we bred everything. My buddy Jim, we're gonna breed his big Yog to my male dog this year too. Next time she cycles. So I'm pretty excited to see what my male throws on, other people's females. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it. Shut your mouth.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon, what
What's
about
up?
you? Have you noticed anything? He was saying that Yogs tend to have weird cycles.
Yeah, I can agree with them. Yogs do have a weird cycles. Like they're my one bitch that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one I had before she got hit, she wouldn't come into heat. I caught her in heat one time since she was almost 2. From 8 weeks when I got her to 2, she came in one time that I could tell. And the males, like even when spring and fall would come that she should have been in heat, my males wouldn't even care about her. And the one time that they cared about her, she was actually in heat. The Patterdales that we have are consistent on that. They basically, I'd say every 6 months they're coming into heat. Now,
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't say, like, we've got 2 of them that might not come in sync every cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, most of them do. And I think that also genetics and the line definitely come into play in that. So our stuff from Jamie, and I feel like maybe his stuff is more consistent. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think genetics come into play. Just you know what I mean. Just like a lot of things. You know what I mean. So.
Yeah, when it comes to the Yogs, I don't think that their genetics or anything really play into it. I think it's just the whole. I mean, it could, but
Mm.
as far as like the way the Yogs are built, they're so hard to get it to come into heat. Like I know Nick's been fighting with his Athena dog to come into heat. I was fighting my one bitch that I had, and like the one bitch that my brother's got, she was coming into heat regularly, and then she just quit. And then we got lucky and caught her in heat again and made that cross. So it's hard to tell when they're in heat if you don't have a male stud around. But
Yeah, and we even tried it. My roommate's got beagles. When his beagles were in heat, I put it right in the middle of them. They say, you put them together, they come in. Not a chance. It was wild. But yeah, it's weird. A lot of people say, and sometimes like James Mills will even tell you, he goes, I've had dogs come in one time and never again. It's just luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah. Like just never again.
Yeah, like one and done. I was like, hope this ain't gonna be my issue. But luckily I caught her, so I ended up keeping the male out of the litter, so I got pretty high hopes for that one.
Yeah. That's good to know. My girl Sin went in the heat once. She'll be two in she'll be 2 in April. We'll see when she goes in the heat next. But
yeah, and when I was
go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead, Brandon. You're good.
I was just gonna say that I know some females. It also depends on the female. Like you were saying, Nick, you put them in between females that are in heat. It should bring them into cycle. But there's a lot of times with the Yogs that does not work, and with the Patterdales, Ours don't do that. With the 3 females that we have, they are always next to each other. If one of them comes into heat, the other 2 sometimes do, sometimes don't. I don't think it really, with both breeds, and I could be wrong, but with both breeds, I don't think that they. Get the fuck out of here. I don't think that they consistently.
It triggers the other dog too much, like
Yeah.
other breeds.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Even if we get on the Belgian Malinois, like mine won't come into heat. She's had silent heats for the last 3 cycles, and my brother's female comes into heat, normal, swells up, and everything. So
yeah, my when I was trying to do this cross, I even asked my vet. I said, "What am I doing wrong? I got something in my water." Like I was questioning pretty much the air I breathe, and she goes, with as much as that dog, as active as she is, and as hard as you're hunting her, the dog will actually. She said that's possible for the females to produce like a slight bit of testosterone, even to prevent them from coming in. It's like they said, like the racehorses are the same way. Sometimes they're racing them hard, they won't come in. And she told me that. So I was like, that's why I put her up. I tried getting her as fat as I could, and she wouldn't gain any more weight. I mean, she eats what she needs, and that's it. I think the fattest I had her was at like 14 pounds, and that's huge for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny about dogs too, because if it's like when you I mean, it's kind of like life anyway. But when you don't really want them to go in the heat, they'll go in the heat.
Yeah, everybody told me, goes, plan a big trip to go hunting somewhere. She'll come in for sure.
Yeah. When you don't want them to go in the heat, they're going in the heat. When you want them to go in the heat, it's like, fuck, bro, go in the heat. You're like 3 months late.
that's like Echo. We didn't want her to get bred. She's only 9 pounds, and her dad decided to climb the kennel and get to her, and I didn't think he ever would because he's so small. But 8 foot up, he went 8 foot up and over and got her. But
we're all men, right?
Yeah.
8-foot fence ain't shit if there's I mean on the other side.
Yeah. And that's like, and I even had her in between, I had my stud dog right there on the side of her. And like, my kennels aren't, I mean, they're gray, so they all share a wall and they're thin wire. I figured for sure he'd try something, and nothing. But he was weird too. The first litter I bred with him, it was the funniest thing. I bought she was a larger bitch, Maud. And I had her in the house. She was in heat, and my male dog, Coma, was scared to death of her, like scared of her, would not try nothing. And then like I was on the phone with my buddy Andrew, and it got real quiet. And I'm like, wait a second. I walk out in the living room, and they're tied, and I'm like, well, shit, I guess. And then I locked them in. I had them in a ruffling. I had her in a ruffling and him in a ruffling, and they broke out of the ruffling and shredded the door, and they bred again. I'm like,
they broke out of the ruffling?
No way. Yeah, so you know how the rufflings have that hook on the top and on the bottom?
Yeah, I got 2 rufflings.
So my male dog must have gotten out, and he chewed the hooks off of it, and they pulled the door this way because the door was stuck like in the kennel, like this. It was the wildest thing. When I come home, like shit, I guess it really did happen this time. So yeah, it was, and the litter worked. I think they got, yeah. I was like, there ain't no way. And then I figured it'd be the same way with this female, and we tried live tying. I don't know how many times.
Rufflings even supposed to like? Ain't they supposed to be like
indestructible?
Indestructible.
Yeah, you might have a little case on your hand.
Yeah, I mean, I got
topdog.com.
Yeah. Well, when the funny thing was when I bent my King of Spades digging Helga out, I called King of Spades and I was like, hey,
I'm still here with you.
I was out. I told them I was planting trees. They're like, what are you doing? Digging in concrete? I was like, no, I was just planting some trees and it just bent. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, okay. I had Terrier in the ground. I was digging, and I had a good bite, and it just bent. And they told me to give them the serial number so they get the batch number. And they said, I sent them the pictures, and she called me back. She goes, we haven't had a failure like this in years. So we're just going to send you another one. free of charge. So I mean, they made it right. The shovel probably
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it bent, and they're like, but the people that were with me were like, I was trying to stop the rotation of the earth. I mean, I had a good bite, and I'm not a small dude, and I was laid on it trying to get into it, and it went like it bent easy. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And that's where I thought Helga was dead. I mean, the people that I was with, I said, we're just at this point, we're digging to get my collars back, and then she come out with it. And after that, I was like, well, she's ready. So
yeah, rough. I mean, at the end of the day, though,
day.
Most of these cages that are built, strong dogs could get out of it if they really use all their strength. They just don't know it. You know what I mean? It's all plastic.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? You got Rufflins with fucking bull mastiffs in it. Like bull mastiff really ram his head 10 times with all his strength. That shit's opening. You know what I mean?
Well,
but it got to be a dog that's just tapped enough to try it.
Yeah. And I don't. Like I said, I wish I would have had a camera to see how they broke that door off of it. I was like, there ain't no way, but they did it.
I went there to jump though.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to everyone in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's see what they're talking about in the chat. I think there are some genetic eye issues with terriers in general. Okay. Anyone anyone experience anything like that? I've had all pit bull terriers. None of them. I've had like I said, this is my first other terrier I've ever had is my Patterdale Terrier. Her eyes are fine. Now she's only 2.
Do the Patterdales carry the the PLL risk like the Jags? Because that's the big thing with the Jags is the PLL. But there hasn't been like a confirmed case of it, and I don't think there's ever been one in the States. Very few. But I don't know. It didn't seem like because I was talking. I talked to Ray Harkin a lot, and I asked him before I got the pup from him, and I was like, "Do you guys like have any like eye issues or anything weird like that with him?" He said, "No, we don't." But who knows if they actually really tested for it? But all his dogs seem to be fine, and I mean, he raises some real nice. He has some real nice stock.
I think if people are breeding, maybe not mass production, but a couple litters a year with the Yogs, and they do get some tests that are PLL, and they're positive, they probably call them. It would be my guess.
Yeah, it says it's inherited. So if you're looking at
I know like the Jag breed standard is you can only breed you can't breed 2 carriers. Unfortunately my stud dog's a carrier, but my bitches are all clean. I mean, I tested all them before I even bred. And luckily they all came back negative. So like I can make this cross again. And then so that would make the puppies should be 50-50, half should have it and half should be clear. I'm hoping that the male I pulled out test is clear, but
is that half should have it, half be cleared, or like there's a 50%?
Yeah, half should
50% chance that they might get it, 50% chance that they might not.
Yeah,
he's like all 50% of the litter, right?
Yeah, like 50%. Like there's just a chance that there's just a chance that there's a 50% chance that they might get it. Is not like if you have like 6 pups, 3 are gonna have it, 3 are not. You know what I mean? But is this just a 50% chance that all 6 are gonna have it? Hopefully that other 50% kick in that they don't have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard some of the Jag breeders, they call them cleared by percentage, which I'm not sure. I really don't know what that term is per se. But there's a dog that
maybe
I
like
asked
a
if they
school
knew
test.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't
60,
know.
You need that 60 to pass.
It could play into the grandparents having it as well. If one of the grandparents have it and then the dad has it.
Yeah, it says it's genetic. Yeah. It says it's genetic, so
yeah.
It's
So
not
the
like
percentage,
you know what I mean?
the percentage probably goes up with the grandparents having it plus the parents. Not both, but maybe one. Like you're saying, Coma's got it, right?
Yeah.
And so if Coma's got it and his grandma would, then the percentage could go up. I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking.
Yeah, like I said, I don't genetics and that stuff, it fascinates me, and what they get and stuff, but at the end of the day, if it works, I'm breeding it. That's just how it is. I'm sure Brand is the same way. He's going to breed good to good and not bad to bad. He's going to keep it going.
I also look at it this way. And I know a lot of guys don't, but in the yard world, if you take a dog that has the PLL and is a carrier, and like you said, your bitch doesn't. Well, if you breed that, and let's say you didn't test the male. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm trying to say. But basically, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point. I had it, but it left my mind.
Like, are you trying to say, like, if you breed a carrier and a non-carrier, you could potentially breed the PLL out of it, maybe?
No, same way. Like, they're gonna end up having it. That's what I was gonna say. So, not what you were saying, but like, okay, so say you take home or breed it to Athena, you get your litter. To you and me, if we're breeding for ourselves and we're keeping the puppies, we might not care as much as far as the test goes, because once the dog is proven in the field and is a good dog, a great dog, in other words, in the field, the dog is going, if it's good, and you know how they say they live up to 4 to 5 years and then they pass because they're so good, they get themselves in situations that they shouldn't, and then they end up passing for whatever reason. To me, and a lot of people might not agree with it, but for me, I'm not going to worry about that as quick if I'm breeding for myself. If I'm breeding for other people, then I'm going to worry about it. But if I'm breeding for myself and that dog ain't going to make it past 5 years, what's the point of even worrying about it? But that's only on the scale of me breeding in my backyard, knowing what I have, wanting to make that cross, and working those puppies.
Yeah, so like if it's staying on your lot, if you're breeding like past, like your close friend, if you and I were to breed something, and if they're both carriers, we say fuck it, we keep it on our lot, and if it works, and we try to cross it on something that we know is clear,
like they're both great. You're obviously going to breed both great dogs. Yes, granted they are carrying, but me and you aren't worried about the fact that they have that, because in the chance of 4 to 5 years old, they might pass. And if they're going to stay with us, I get why people worry about it. It's for the simple fact of getting those dogs in the hands of young entrepreneurs, or whatever you want to call it, handlers that are going to work that dog. That's where that would play into it, as the fact of the matter that you're not wanting your stock out there that is carrying and could produce, some positive or carriers. I hope people are getting sense of what I'm saying, but if it's like you said, if we're breeding for the backyard and we're keeping the puppies, there's no sense.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Stressing on it.
I get what you're saying. Let's see
what. That's what.
Go ahead, Nick.
So reading his Terrier's Lurcher 1310. He said that's a good roommate to do all that for you. Oh, he's talking about Nick.
Yep.
Oh,
we'll get back in. You want to say something, Nick?
No, that's good. Yeah. So, no, that's good. But
we'll get back into
he does help me out a lot.
Comments real quick. Yep. PLL. Exactly. Obviously, he's saying exactly something that was in the comments, or something that one of us said. My Yag will go into heat, but really wouldn't bleed at all. They are kind of weird about that. You're right.
Yeah. So when I noticed her, I saw like blood like one day, and then it was done. So then I pulled progesterone on her, like before I left. I had to go out of town, of course. And I pulled progesterone on it. It was like a 3. And, they all have different scales. So then I took it to, there's a guy in Chipsy that pulls blood and does everything right there. And she was like a 28.5. So I was catching her on the way out. And I asked him, I said, so what is, I've never paid attention to numbers. I've always done it just, if they tie, they tie. If they don't, they don't. with me AI, and I AI'd her on New Year's Eve, and then I AI'd her again on the 2nd, and she took on the first one, thankfully. But like she was super tight, and like the lady who was doing the AI for me, she goes, I don't know if I got her, and we did. So like I said, it was out of a stroke of luck, or if it was just on my side that day, but she took, so that's all that mattered.
Worked out.
And she didn't start showing until like day 30. So I was like, I didn't get her, and then she just blew up. It was wild. So
hey, that's a good thing.
yeah.
We got 101. Shout out to 101 Kennels. They got some good dogs over there. Some good gentlemen on tonight. Appreciate that. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you get to dig with your guys again in the near future. Yes, appreciate that. Hope you're doing well too over there at 101 Kennels. Hope all your dogs is doing well. Hope everything's great, of course. Always good vibes over here with Live Your Life Dogs. And you can tell by the name, Live Your Life Dogs. We're gonna make sure our dogs live their best life. And hunting dogs live their best lives by hunting. Like the Patterdale Terrier, earthwork.
Traditional terrier work. That's what I like. That's why. That's the other thing too. Is that's all I do with my traditional terrier work. I mean, I'm sure Brand's heard my seeing all the stuff that I go through when I tell them I don't teach my dogs to fetch, retrieve. I just don't have use for it really. But it would be handy. My buddy Jim goes, hell, Letty just packs them out to me. I'm like, sometimes I just want to leave them, but she also packs them back skunks too. So, if mine brought back a skunk, I don't know if I'd be able to.
I'll start running away from my own dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Literally, like you drop it, I'm out. But
yeah. Yes, sir.
You got Croc Kit, Hot Heifer from South Bottom.
I heard mixed reviews on that one, so that's why I didn't use it. But yeah.
And what is that? Hot Heifer from South Bottom?
I guess it's some type of supplement to get bitches to come in. Some people say it works great, and others said it didn't work for them.
Do you guys
Let me look it up.
Do you guys think that using supplements and stuff like that to bring your bitches in heat are good, and are effective in ways that they're not going to ruin the female's hormones and affect the way they hunt?
No, anything man-made will fuck you up.
Yep.
And got effects to it. Plain and simple.
And like
shout out to whoever
the guy
in the blue sweater.
That's Peter Shine Mama.
Huh?
That's Mama.
That's the mama?
Yep.
Hey, shout out to the mama. Without the mama, we wouldn't have y'all. Shout out to the mama. Love you, mama.
I said, love you, mama.
She'll
like
know
there's
me later when I get out there.
Yep, for sure.
But go ahead, Nick.
So buddy of mine, he used to pack quite a bit of game dogs. He goes, he trains boxers in Mexico, and they brought him back Capragolene, and that's the same shot you give them to abort the puppies that'll actually bring them in. And that I didn't want to do that. Like I was going to try all the natural supplements. Like I knew this breeding had to happen this year, or I'd probably end up losing her. I mean, that's just how it goes. Everybody will tell you, Jags got the 3-year curse is what we call it. We lost a lot of good Jags at 3 years old. Tyler Sladen lost one at 3 years old, working a cooner in an attic, and he couldn't get it to cool off. And then my buddy Andrew, his Badger female that he had, she was a great dog. And then he called me I think it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving. He called me. He goes, Nick, I just dug my last hole of the Badger. I'm like, what happened? Well, he had a brand new Toyota truck, and they had the remote start on them, and it shuts off. It's supposed to shut off after 15 minutes. Well, the truck never shut off, and the dogs were overheated, and he didn't know it. And he watches his, he's got Waggle in all of his boxes running all the time. and he's very consistent about watching the humidity, the temperatures, and all that stuff. And he said after that, he goes, he hates that truck. He goes, I hate this truck. And Brandon and I were working in Chicago.
Yeah, I would
doing
have
the detection work.
Got rid of that truck. Maybe I would have just been pissed. Every time I
Yes.
drive it, I would have been sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah. So
Same
then,
here.
like right after that happened, we were working and I dropped Brandon off, and I went straight to the field and dug with. It was hot. I should have went home. I was dragging ass. I mean, I was about dead, and I got home. We dug the last hole, and I told him, I said, I'm not backfilling, guys. I'm going home. I said, I'm beat. They said, yeah, you look tired. So I went home, and I had just got home and showered, and Andrew called me. He goes, Nick, he goes, if I don't hate this truck enough, he goes, I'm stranded on the side of the highway now, and it's blowed up. And it had like under 100,000 miles on it. So I just loaded up. I said, I'll be there in an hour and a half. He was down by Anderson. And I burned down there, picked him up. I said, dude, I'm coming to get you. I said, I don't care. You're not sitting there with your dogs. So I went down and got him, brought him back. And hell, he was here for like a month, and we just hunted and he hung out. We went to some conventions together and stuff. And like I said, after that, he goes, I hate this truck. He's been trying to sell it ever since, trying to get rid of it just because of it. I mean, I'd be the same way too. I'd be wrapping that thing around a tree yesterday. I've been out tree hunting for sure. But
yeah. We'll get what we got? God of the Angels. I think it is a high B vitamin that helps bring them in the heat. Okay. I'm gonna look into it. I like I love doing homework on dogs. That's something I do. So yeah, that gives me something to look into.
hopefully it's coming naturally. You don't got to do it.
Yeah, that's that's the whole thing. You always want it to come in naturally, but
sometimes you gotta do.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's where I was at this year. I was like, I got to make it happen. I mean, she did everything I wanted to. We got our fox in Jersey, and that was my wildest trip I've ever been on in my life. I'll be honest with you. Me and Brandon and Brad are used to, field edges, outside of town. They're in Jersey. We're parked at the train station, or digging right in town. And I'm like, this is wild. And it was hot. It was hot the day we went out there, and we ended up digging one groundhog. And then we went and there was a den that was kicked out. So Ray was like, we're going to go check another one. And sure enough, it was in there. And my female went in, and that fox had pushed her out. It wasn't a real deep set. That fox pushed her out, and I looked at Ray, and I said, that ain't good. She quit. He goes, no, she didn't. Just wait. And sure enough, we went back in. We broke into her, and it was mouth to mouth. She had it by the snout, and I'm like, we pulled her out, and I grabbed her, and I looked at her. I got a picture of it. I'll send it to you, and you can post it on here. And I picked her up. I looked at her, and I'm like, because a fox grabs them by the top of the snout a lot of the times. And I was like, please don't be blowing bubbles. Luckily, we weren't blowing bubbles, and she was good. But it was definitely a trip to remember. And I've talked to Ray. Ray got me into this. I bought all my digging equipment from him. And he told me, he goes, I'm gonna tell you, love your dogs, but don't get attached, because one of those days they're not going to come back out. And he goes, before I send you this, he said, if you lose a dog, take a day or two to mourn, but get back after us. You'll never dig another dog again.
Yeah.
And,
you got to. I remember I was actually two little stories from what you just said. And one time my dog Sin, she went into a hole, and she was down there for a minute. I had to move a whole bunch of stuff. But by the time I moved all that stuff, she kind of had backed out. So I was kind of like, damn, she probably gave up or whatever. You know what I mean? Just backed out, gave up. And then we dug a little more. I was with Biggs, and Biggs was like, no, we're digging a little more, see what happened. And she ended up killing the groundhog and then just backing out after she killed it.
Yeah.
So that was that being said, it was when you when you said to him like, "Damn, that's not good," she backed off. That's how I like my heart kind of sunk. Like, damn, she fucking backed off some bitch shit. But then come to find out, she killed it and then came back and then backed out. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, she killed it and then backed out. It wasn't like she wasn't on no, bitch shit. You know what I mean? So that's like that's a relief when you're wrong about your dog being soft.
Yeah. Like
You know what I mean?
I had one day I was digging and I had one of my younger dogs, the one that I had bred and I got back. I was hunting her with her mom, and they went in, they entered, and she went in, engaged, then quit. I was like, what the hell's going on here, And I was like, they're both done at this point. And they went, then I sent the mom back in. The mom went in and stayed, and I opened up to her, and it was a damn possum. Like, I'm beginning to think I need to break my dogs off of possum because I hate digging the bastards. There's no fun in it to me. But when I opened it, that possum had her by the face. So I was like, well, shit happens. But she hasn't done it since.
It's interesting you bring that up because me and Brad actually tried something. So we have, I want to say, 2 veterans, so to speak. They've got a couple years on them as far as digging. And they've been on possum, coon, and groundhogs. And when we acquired these 2 little females, Honey and Echo, from Jamie, we decided we're just going to keep them on groundhogs. And I know a lot of people dig through the winter. We do too. But we decided we're going to try keeping these females just on groundhogs. And so, let's see, last week sometime, I can't exactly remember what day, but I decided I'm going to take Honey out. And we're going to see if she get on some groundhogs because you know how it is right now. The groundhogs are just coming out. The holes are tight, and you're not seeing a lot of them. So I knew this one spot next to the road where there was quite a bit of groundhog sign from years in the past, and I decided I'm gonna go through there and see if there's some groundhogs in there. And I didn't see them, but she went through and entered a set instantly with no hesitation. And I was thinking, man, that was weird because about 45 minutes earlier, our Jack Russell, me and Brad's Jack Russell, wanted to enter a set on a possum. I dug him out. He had the possum, and she didn't want nothing to do with it until she, it was above ground. Then she could see it, and she wanted to mess with it a little bit, but she didn't show any interest. When she hit them groundhog sets, dude, she entered so fast. I was actually really surprised. Like, she didn't hesitate. She dove right in, engaged with the groundhog. I dug 2.5 feet down to her, broke ground, got it out, and then I walked another 100 yards maybe, and she shoots down again on another one.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not gonna say that it's with every dog. Maybe it's just what she prefers, but the fact that it's kind of starting to look like maybe that our theory is right, that, and it could be the line too. I don't know. We're gonna see throughout this year what happens with coon, possum, and groundhogs. But right now, she's showing me she likes groundhogs, and that's kind of the way we wanted them to be, is just on groundhogs.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's got thoughts on that, on like keeping a dog on specific game instead of going after everything.
I mean, and
go ahead, Nick.
With the coonhounds, it's easy. You know what I mean? You can look up a tree and see if they're right or wrong.
Yep.
You don't know what they got till you get to them in the ground. So if there's a way to break them with that, please, I'll break all mine off possum.
And I don't know. You might have to start them as puppies that way. Like, that's just what we did. We're trying it right now. We're going to see how it goes. But as of now, it's working. It really is. We didn't dig them all winter. And for her to kind of, is it good that she passed up a possum? For me, yes. Because I think possums are boring. I don't want to dig through a possum if I don't have to. And so, like, seeing her dive into them sets like the way she did, like, that just showed me that she's obviously, like, maybe I'm doing something right, or maybe it's just something she prefers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
if I could...
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Brandon was saying if you kind of, if did anyone want to talk about, specify on as far as like aiming your dog towards groundhog? I kind of try to do that with Sin, because she's only like, she's only 10.5 pounds. You know what I mean? And I could probably bring her weight up, but that means I would have to stop like running her and keeping her in shape. Where it's like I'm not doing that just to keep her weight up, because
Right.
she's,
Yup.
she's 10 pounds, but she's she's way stronger than she looks, because the way I feed her and the way I run her. You know what I mean?
That raw diet.
Yeah, yeah. I feed her. I mean, even today, bro, I fed her raw beef, and I fed her small chickens, like with the fur and all the just whole small chickens. You know what I mean? About 5 of those, and actually I gave her three of those and some ground beef. You know what I mean? So with that and the running, and then I actually feed her more than you probably should a Patterdale, obviously, because I run her so much. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Sin does about she does about 3 times 5, 15. She does about 15 miles a week. And that's because, that's not me running with her. That's because I got the treadmill. You know what I mean? So
Yup.
even now, sometimes I'm on the live with you guys and she's on the treadmill. You know what I mean? Right now she's not. She's just over there playing with my ledger. But yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, if with the way I feed her and stuff like that, I gotta run her more. But as far as the back to the point, I mean, I would agree with you.
I mean, we're just testing it right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but it's like it's hard because like with her, she's it's to the point where like even if like a leaf, if a leaf blows and it's on the low to the ground, he goes after it. Even my cousin Keith got a puppy, and we had because the puppy, I guess because the puppy like we had just got done hunting. We just had got done hunting all day. And then the puppy was like, he grabbed the puppy, put it on the floor, and she kind of went at the puppy. But it was kind of like she just seen something small on the ground that was moving. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Once we both picked them, I picked her up, he picked the puppy up, and we let her smell the puppy and all that good stuff. She was good. But on the ground, when she first seen it, she was like, go. You know what I mean? So
Yup.
with her, it's like I would rather her just go at groundhogs because of her size. You know what I mean? But
Yup.
but at the same time, she has win at coon. You know what I mean? So
That's what I was gonna say too, and not to interrupt, but like it's the same way. Like I'm not gonna be surprised if she sees it and it goes down a hole that she's not gonna go after it.
yeah, anything. I mean, at this point, I think she's turned on enough to where she'll get herself killed. You know what I
Right.
mean? She'll go at something that's just not for you. You know what I mean?
Yup.
So I wish in Herbie in my first Patterdale and me getting into it, I'm not mad she's like that. Sometimes I wish it's like, damn, she's only 10.5 pounds. I've never weighed her and seen her over 11. The most she ever been was like 10.8, 10.9. You know
Yup.
what I mean? So
That's actually what Honey is too, and then Echo's 9 pounds, and we don't like putting Echo on Coon because she's so hard and she takes a lot of damage.
yeah,
She
and
doesn't.
that's the problem with Sin. And actually, Nick, I was just saying that to you about the brawler shit. Is that and I'm pretty sure you're gonna say the same thing about the dog you're talking about, Brandon. Is that Sin will just she's not one of them dogs. So I was talking to Nick and I was saying he was talking about how his dog goes straight to the neck, and I was saying my brother Scott has Petey, where Petey just he's kind of like if you're training puppies, if say you got some puppies and you got some coons a coon and you got some puppies on the coon. You know what I mean? But then you just want a dog to just end it. We're gonna send Petey through because he's going straight to the throat. It's over. Where my dog Sin and the vibe you're saying, the dog you're talking about, is that they'll just grab anything. Like Sin will just grab a raccoon's side and just get busy.
Yeah.
And she'll get
Just
to the
take
neck
it.
eventually. Don't get me wrong. She'll get to the neck eventually and do what she got to do. But she's willing to just like take a beating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's a brawler. She's just willing to just take a beating. But at the same time, you know, that's where we come in as partners and teammates, because that's one thing that we don't want to get misconstrued over here, is that when it comes to this earthwork, is that the dog's not supposed to kill it. The dog's supposed to hold, grab. We supposed to dig to it, put it. I'm gonna just take care of it and move on to the next hole. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at the
Yep.
end of the day, let's not make it seem like these dogs supposed to kill everything they see, or go on the ground and kill it, and then come back out, or go on the ground and kill it, and we dig it, and they come back out. No, they go in the ground, hold it, and as far as me, I'm not looking for any type of Patterdale that bays or anything. You know what I mean? You go in there, you grab and hold. We're gonna track you down, and I'm gonna dig to you as your partner and get you, take care of it, take care of whatever you're holding, and move on to the next hole. So that's one thing I want to make clear, is that we're not. Sometimes your dog's just gonna kill something because it happens, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to get in there and help over your dog. That's why it's a team. That's why it's a partner. You know what I mean?
That's why
Yep.
that's why
Go
I'm
ahead,
so
Nick.
attracted. That's why I'm so attracted to it. I've ran hounds, ran coyote hounds, ran coon dogs. Like you turn them loose, they do it. You walk in there, but like where me digging, I feel like I'm one-on-one with the dog, and I run a lurcher above ground. And Ray told me, he goes, at the end of the day, you get down, you dig to your terrier, you get to your terrier in the game, you pull the terrier out, let the lurcher do the work. That's when the lurcher comes into work. And I'm sure Brad hunts the same way. I mean, Hunter's fucking phenomenal lurcher. I've seen him do some crazy shit I've never seen a lurcher do before. To be honest with you, I've seen him tree a groundhog in the middle of a field one day.
Who's that?
Brad's lurcher. Hunter.
Okay.
I watched him tree a groundhog, and we were digging, and he bolted or something, and he just treed it in the tree and stayed on the tree. That's crazy. Like Brandon's Jag, probably one of the best tree dogs I know.
Is that the lurcher that would Brandon is that the lurcher that Brad was talking about?
Yeah, he's right.
Maybe messing with my lurcher later in the future.
Sit. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on camera right here. That's him.
Let me see. Let me take this. Let me move this real quick so we can.
Watch it. Hey, right here. He's come here. Here, hop up on the seat. Sit.
Got that smooth coat. Damn, his smooth. He got that silk.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
silky,
shiny.
but he's got some thick skin.
Yeah,
And he's got
that's
the
what's up.
scars. He's got a white on him right now, but
Yeah,
a lot of
my
people
Jag
on
got that.
Facebook where Brad took a picture of his teeth like this, right? And he posted on Facebook, and everybody was like, "Oh, you've seen a Patterdale with teeth like that?" And Brad had it correct him and was like, "That's not a Patterdale, that's a lurcher." Bro, he's like half the size of Sam, maybe even smaller.
Yeah, he's not a real big lurcher. He's smaller than mine.
Yeah.
He gets fucking busy.
He's like maybe 40, 45 pounds, if that. What do you think, Nick? You think he's about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's not much bigger than that, I don't think. He may be
I would
under
say-
40 actually.
Yeah, and I think Brad would agree with me too. Is I don't think that he has. So Sam, that we're breeding the Furious right now, he's part greyhound. He's gonna make it up to 45 mile an hour. But
What does he have in him? Like, he's obviously greyhound, but does he have like whippet or what's? Because
you mean Hunter?
the the lurcher you just showed.
Oh, Brad.
You said
Brad.
he's about
Everything in
45,
He
40,
said he's
45 pounds.
He said he's right at 40 pounds.
Yeah, see, my
I'm gonna get him. He can explain what all he's got in him real quick.
my lurcher Cookies, she'll be a year in April. She's probably about 45 pounds.
Yeah, but she's gonna be bigger, ain't she?
Yeah, she's not even a year yet, and she's about 45 pounds for sure.
Yeah, because my lurcher's 60, between 56 and 60 pounds.
Yeah, I think Cookie's about to be around. I think she's gonna be around. Yeah, so she's about 45 pounds. By the time she's grown, she'll be about, I would say, 60 pounds. You know what I mean? Because she's not even a year yet. She'll be a year in April.
He's gonna come tell you what all he's got in him here in a little bit.
And
big,
personally, I think she's a little bit on the bigger side. I mean, I like the compact, like Brad's lurcher's compact and fast. She's big and leggy, and we've raced them at Peter Shine's place, and she's stretched. Like my dog was stretched out, and his was like eating her lunch in the short distance. I mean, long distance we haven't really tried it, but
yeah.
That's what
Did
me
you
and
guys
Brad were talking about. That she's
Brandon,
gonna like bigger dogs like her and Sam that we got here. They're gonna have.
I was just gonna say,
him
did
at
you guys
Registry.
weigh Sam, Brandon?
No, bro, that dude is huge.
So Sam's huge, right?
He's got like
So
2
if you was
inches
taking,
on my mouth.
if you was take an estimate, how much you think Sam weigh?
Dude, he's got to be like 70. I'm going to say right at 70. Because my mouth's 60, 65 when she's heavy. And he's 2 inches taller than her yet. And she's a big mouth.
Yo, Henry?
Yeah?
Sam's brother?
Yeah?
That Marshall gut is a little bigger than him.
Shut up. Bro, I couldn't even have a dog that big. Like, I would go insane.
Biggs will tell you and Marshall will tell you. Henry's a little bigger than Sam, and I know that because I've been with them both.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, I've been out with Marshall.
The same color?
Huh? They look like twins. Just they look the same color, same.
That's crazy.
Same look, same smooth coat, whatever. But they Henry's a little bigger.
And he was telling me that he'll get up to like 45.
Who?
Sam?
Yeah, I've never been there when he like tracked them, but I've been there with Sam. I've been out with Sam plenty of times, and once Sam goes, it's like Sam, he's fast as shit, bro.
Hey, Nick, to compare size with
he's on farms all day too. Like King brings him out all the time. You know what I mean?
To compare him to size to yours, Nick, he's literally probably 3 inches, maybe 2-3 inches taller than your lurcher. He's that big.
I know. And
you're talking about
there's
Sam.
Yeah.
The boys, Ray, those guys got a bunch of lurchers, and the one Johnny's lurcher that he has, it's border gray, and I think they import it, and that thing is huge too. He's a small horse. Like I bet his head's up. No shit, up to the bottom of my elbow. Like he's a big dog, but I understand why they do that. Why they prefer that style of dog. Like where Brandon and I are at. You could honestly probably use a pretty nice bred pit to draw. I mean, that's usually what we do because we don't get much bolting, and a groundhog bolting.
Yeah.
There's a guy that was using staffies.
A pit bull's good for anything but getting in small places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything but that, a pit bull will do it. You know what I mean? That's why they just respectfully. There's a lot of dogs, but they just can't switch like a pit bull can. A pit bull will turn into a duck hunter if you train them right.
Yeah, they'll do anything.
Literally, you know what I mean? Anything. But yeah, let's get back to these the chat real quick. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. We're here talking about Patterdale Terriers every Wednesday. And as you can see, we always we're dog lovers. We all everyone who locks in with us got not every other, but of course not every other, but several different types of dogs. Me myself, I got a Patterdale Terrier, I got a pit bull, I got a lurcher. You know what I mean? So we always get into other conversations. Let me put myself. We always get into other conversations where we we might steam off and get into other dogs, but yeah, it's always gonna come back to the Patterdale Talk Wednesdays. Appreciate everyone for locking in with us. Appreciate Nick, appreciate Brandon, appreciate everyone in the chat, man. Again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, hit the like button, share. Appreciate it. Much love. Pot Heifer works 100% is APBT, because I always mess that up. Breeders use Kendrick Carter from South Bottom Kennels, okay? It's always good to know some more info. Good evening, Pops. Love and respect. Yeah. If you don't know, Jamie Park and 101 Kennels, their family. 101 Kennels is, a lot younger than Jamie Park. Respectfully, Jamie. I love you. I love you, sir. But yeah, so their family, and he calls them Pops. That's what's up.
So did you see in the chat here where a good topic about the breeders and the hunters' experience on the pros and cons of smooth coat and broken coat dogs? I'll be honest with you, I have both. The one thing that's nice about it,
get to it.
The one thing I like about the broken coat dogs, with the work that I do with them, and in corporate settings and stuff. If I'm hunting my smooth coat bitch, and we've been hunting, and Brand's Cowboys the same way. When we went into a couple of them warehouses, and them boys were like, "What's wrong with their face?" And we're like, "We've been hunting pretty hard." And it's like, and the broken coat, I got my broken coat male. We've hunted him in the summer. Digging cockaburs out of that thing freaking sucks. I hate that. That's the worst thing about a broken coat dog. But, it has its advantages too, I think, too. It covers, if you're working them, it covers that work scars. No matter how you're working them, they're going to have a scarred up face. That's just how it is.
And that also comes into play when you got, I'm not going to say Karens or something like that, but it's more or less the people who are like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to your dog's face?" It's hard to explain to them that they're a working dog, because half the time they don't want to understand that. Like, they don't want to understand the concept of a working dog. All they care about is the fact that his face is messed up. But
call them Karens, tree huggers.
Yup.
It's all good.
Fur mamas.
But personally, for me, up where we are, unless we're hunting swamp or maybe briar patch real hard where we're digging, I'm gonna go with a smooth coat all day. It's easier to maintenance. It's not as rough to clean. I had a broken coat. What was his name? I only had him for a short period. That dog I sent up to Buddy. Nick, you remember that male dog? That tall.
What would we?
I don't know what his name was now.
Me neither. Well, obviously, it wasn't a good one if we can't remember the name.
Yeah.
He had like a short coat, and then like above his back, he was broken, and then he had a mustache. I mean, he was like a mix, and that dude there was a pain in the ass to clean.
Jaeger.
100%.
Yeah, my wife
100%.
That's Jaeger. That was his name.
Yeah.
But to clean that thing, like, think about it. You're out there digging all day. You're hunting. I don't have much experience with the broken coats, but you're out there digging all day. From what I have experienced, you get home, you're cleaning eyes, you're cleaning the dogs, giving them bath, and then you got to, on top of that, deal with the burrs. You can call me lazy or whatever you want. I don't like dealing with it, but that's just me.
I
I'd rather give
100%
that.
agree.
I'd rather give that dog a bath and send it on its way into its, crate for the night.
But I will say the secret to getting cockaburs out of a broken coat dog is show sheen that they use on horses. I don't know what it does, but it breaks
I
some
can't
burrs
agree with that.
straight
That works
out.
really good on horses. Yup.
So I mean, it
What's
worked.
crazy
It
about it
worked
is
on
that a
dogs.
lot of the things they use on horses and cows work for our dogs.
And goats.
Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of the things, whether it's like what is it? It could be something as simple as new stop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
I got a
up.
topic we can get on to after this.
Dogs, fox will put damage on the dog's muzzle for sure. Let's skip all the. Shout out to everyone in the chat again. Appreciate y'all, man, for locking in with us. Live your life, dogs.
Speaking of dogs and muzzles and on fox, Nick, I'm gonna ask you, and then I want Woods to answer too. Do you think that when like you were saying earlier about they go for the top of the muzzle, that seems like what they typically do. And I've only dug a couple, but like our Jack Russell, he got hit pretty hard on the top of his muzzle. Like he was wore out. But you were saying something about bubbling. What were you talking about? Because I've never experienced it, and I was curious.
So
That's
when they bite down.
Nick. Go ahead, Nick. Yep.
When they bite down and pierce the nasal cavity.
Yep.
That's where the bubbles come from.
Okay.
So, it's like they popped their nasal cavity.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was getting at, but I didn't know if you were talking about like veins and all that.
No. So the other thing too, like they can. What a fox. So I mean, I've only dug the one, but I've talked to Ray a lot. And, I don't know how many fox he digs a year, but he said what that fox will do is they'll back into a tight spot and they'll just be their head, and they'll wait for that dog and they'll twist and pull that dog in. There is a girl that has Jack Russells that I've hunted with, and she had a fox actually grabbed the dog by the muzzle and twisted, and it broke all the bones going down in the muzzle. Yeah, so I mean, fox ain't no joke, but that's what Ray told me too. Is they'll pull the dog in and try to suffocate them. Is what they try to do. They back themselves in, and that's it. It's just their head.
Yeah, the couple that we dug, they would do the same maneuver. But instead of pulling back, there was only one that would pull back. The other two would pull back halfway and let go. And so that's kind of like, I don't know which, the one was with the Jack Russell, the other two were with Yogs. And the Yogs, that was fun trying to do those. Oh no, the one was with a Patterdale, one was with a Jack, Gunner, Sweet, and then Cowboy and Cowgirl. Which the Patterdale, that one actually bolted on us. That one was in the middle of a field, and she had a hold of his leg, trying to hold him down in there she had a hold of him for about a half hour, and he fought, chewed her up pretty good, but then for a half hour is what we're guesstimating it as from the time we finally broke ground and got to her, which was 3 feet to 4 feet down. That thing bolted, and back leg tore up from her holding it. And we think the whole time that, like, after the fight, that thing was trying to bolt. And it didn't do much damage to her because it was one of those that didn't want to fight. Mm-hmm. It was a female, and it was in the dead of winter. So, I don't know. I think that a fox is definitely harder. I think you get some that probably bolt and want to bolt a lot quicker if you don't have a dog to hold them there. Which that one was pretty fun. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds, negative 18 degrees, something like that.
Good day.
Yeah, that was a good one. We're pretty proud of her for holding it there, because I know I've heard a lot of stories about Patterdales. They're in there fighting it. I haven't heard many of actually holding it until you get to them. Obviously, that one got away from her and bolted.
What, Patterdales?
Yeah.
You gotta come over. You gotta come hunt with cut up kennels.
I'm going to. I'm trying to
Yeah,
get to New York.
cause them dogs hold. My girl Sin holds. My cousin dog Boom holds. They definitely hold until we get down in there. For sure, bro.
Have you guys had any bolt?
What do you mean?
Like bolt.
The
Get away from the dog, however they do it, and get bust out their bed where you need a lurcher or something to grab them, unless you got small dogs tied up on the exits.
not our dogs, no. Now
Okay.
I have seen when we was doing that tournament when he did when they did the dig, the
Last year,
competition tournament, whatever, yeah. There was dogs there where they didn't hold, like they might have grabbed hold and then let go. They didn't hold the dog until we got into the dirt. But as far as cut up kennels dogs, yeah, they're holding.
no, I already know about them. Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as my girl Sin, she's holding. But yeah, I have at that competition because as far as me, that was probably the most I've seen as far as like, 10 or more different different people out hunting at once with their Patterdales. And there was some Patterdales that like they would go in the hole and they would maybe grab something, but they wouldn't hold. You know what I mean?
So
Like the
you
groundhog would get off.
more of a mixer.
Yeah, and then there was yeah, exactly. And then there was dogs that would that was like not even, there was dogs where the owner might have been hoping, but they wasn't really going in the holes.
Okay.
Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
wasn't, you
Right.
know, you know how that goes. They just
I remember asking you before, but I forget. Do you want a mixer or do you want a hard dog?
I mean, me personally, I would like we would all like a dog that maybe just goes for the neck and kills something. But at the end of the day, again, like we was just saying, that's not the
That's
real
not the.
point of these
Yep.
dogs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Is to go down the ground and kill something. The point is for them to go on the ground, hold it, and then we get there and end it. You know what I mean? And hopefully we don't take too long. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? As you know, it could take an hour, it could take 40 minutes. And then there's digs that took 2 days. There's digs I've we talked about a dig with a dog named Pippi uh years ago. If you look back on if on the Live Your Life Dogs channel, the video is up there. But the dog that named Pippi that was in the ground for 6 days. Yeah, this was years ago. They had to bring out the a whole bunch of stuff to get the dog out back then because it was in between rock and stuff like that. But yeah, dogs could go in it, could the dig could go um very long. So there's
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I I prefer mixing bay dog. Honestly, that's my. I really like mixing bay dog. Don't get me wrong, I like the hard ones, but mixing bay dog is my go-to just for the longevity of it. A hard dog is probably going to be laid up more than your smart mixing bay dogs.
Makes sense.
And some people may not agree with it at all, but that's everybody has their own style. I have my male dog Coma. I use him as a draw dog most of the time. We get down to it, we pull the other dog off and I just send him in for the hammer. And yeah, he goes, he don't care. He's a different dog above ground though.
Yeah, I would like, what I mean? At the end of the day, you would like a dog that maybe just goes straight for the throat regardless. So if you don't get down there quick enough, it's ending stuff. But
I feel like that's too where a lot of sets come in play, where you got a set that you want a dog to just go in, grab it, hold it, grab it by the throat, kill it, and it keeps it from you having to dig more through rocks and shit, debris, when you've got a dog that can go down there, grab it by the throat, and hold it, you're not working as hard because it's holding it there. But a mixed bear might take that groundhog and it runs, it grabs it, it holds it, and they're moving until they finally get them in a covey. Then you can get to them where it takes more time. Where a throat dog, you're going to cut it in there, it's going to go down, do the business, and you can get to it a lot quicker.
Yeah. 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 You got them dogs where it's like they're moving all the time because
that's like
underground where you're tracking them, where you're because I've been in that position too where it's like we start digging here and then the dog moved.
Yep.
Groundhog.
You know
Groundhog
what I mean?
gives you the slip, feels you coming, gives you the slip.
Yeah.
I've done it multiple times.
If you got one dog, like where I'm at, if you got one dog in the ground and then you got at least two, maybe even one sometimes, I'm going to say 2 to 3 typically, our Patterdales are running through that tunnel and trying to get them in a cubby and trying to lock them all down. But I feel like they move so much that they're just bouncing back and forth. That's a lot of the times when we're going to cut a second dog in. I know a lot of guys don't do that, but we will. We'll cut a second dog in just to get them to hold up and hold tight until we can get to them. But you've also got to have dogs that'll work together to do that. I know some of our dogs, we can't put 2 in the ground at the same time.
And you'll put them in the ground because I understand like you'll put them in the ground in the same hole because that obviously is the position where sometimes you got groundhog holes where you got one groundhog hole, the main route or whatever, or whatever it is, and then they got 4 or 5 escape routes where you keep that dog at the escape route, or you might send another dog in the hole and let them go into that escape route. Now, when you say you're letting them both in, are you saying you're letting them both in behind each other, or you're letting another one in from the other side?
So we're gonna typically so like there was one set. I'm gonna use this as an example. We had one set where it was a really complex tunnel. We sent one pat was free casted. She went in, and so we tied up our other pats on the exits, and that way if something bolts, they can get them as they're coming out or keep them in there for the other Patterdale that's actually working. And it got to the point where we were there for an hour and a half, and this Patterdale still couldn't get these freaking coon. There ended up being 4 coon in this set. Still couldn't get them all in a cubby. So then what we did was I took one of the dogs, one of the other Patterdales that we know will work with each other. We cut her in from one of the exits. So they're not coming in face to face, but they're coming in to where if that one runs into one, it can hold it in a cubby while the first Patterdale is still working on the others, if that makes sense. To kind of slow it down to keep at least one of them bayed up so we can get to them and get the dog out and kill the coon and get it out. I hope everybody's understanding what I'm saying.
Nah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah, again, like you said, I hope everyone understands, but I understand what you're saying.
If they don't, they can message me on Facebook or we can go hash it over.
Jamie Park, a good dog with a good mouth, has the capabilities of breaking that fox's jaw at Shahib. Shahib is AKA Biggs. Hey,
I ain't seen it with any of our Patterdales, but I've seen it with one of our Yogs do it.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, me personally, if Jamie says it, it's most likely true. That's just me personally. The amount of respect I got for Jamie and the amount of respect.
For sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That
and we haven't had the chance we've had one Patterdale, one fox. We haven't really had the chance to dig a lot of fox with our Patterdales. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, my Patterdale's 10.5 pounds. 10.9, maybe something like that. Either way, she's between 10 and 11. I'm not really planning on her running into a fox.
Let me ask the viewers this: How many of the viewers, if they had a 9-pound female like we've got from Jamie, would you put that dog on a fox? And there's a couple of things that are going to go into this. The fact that she's hard. The reason we don't really want to is because we're afraid of losing her because she's so good, and we can use her when she is retired for the breeding program that we're planning on having with her.
Brandon,
What's up?
You know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I already know.
Hors d'oeuvre.
Yup.
Of a nine. I mean, don't give me. I mean, the Patterdale's gonna bang, but 9 pounds, like even like I said,
That's
10, 11 pounds. That's like some of the shit they eat is that size.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's a suicide mission to me.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not doing. I'm
that's
never.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
never.
Like how
Man,
many viewers are actually gonna like? I'm talking to the dudes that are experiencing it. Like,
oh
do you
yeah.
have they done it?
Well, that's the problem with free casting. Because
Yo,
when I go to New York with Biggs, we free cast, but like in this fox and there's coyotes over there, so it's like it's I just
that's
hope she
like
don't
Biggs
run
told
into
me.
one.
Biggs
I be
told
letting
me.
them brush piles and all types of shit. I probably shouldn't even do that. But
Yeah, Biggs told me if I bring a dog down there, I better be prepared to lose it. You know, if something happens that I'm not saying he's gonna purposely put us on, you know, something that's gonna take him out. But you know, when you're free casting like that, I mean, we do it too. We free cast.
yeah,
The chance is there. You never know what you're gonna run into.
yeah.
That's
As you
kind of
know,
what.
that's why I got the lurcher. Just to
Yo,
follow Sin around. Like hopefully she does that. Like just
right.
follow her around. She run into something big. Hopefully you take care. You do what you're supposed to do. You know what I
Yep, that's
mean?
why we got our mouths for that simple fact. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks we're crazy, but the mouths do a lot more than people say they do.
I've never seen a dog skin a coon alive. I'll be honest with you. I ain't never seen any shit like that before in my life.
What?
I've watched.
I can't. It's not something we can put on here, but me and my brother got a video of our mouths stretching a coon, and man, they were 6 months old. We didn't even want them getting bit or nothing, but they handled their business. I'm just gonna
Hey.
put it that way.
Yeah, their mouths. I'm you know, that's what they do.
Yep.
How many dogs per set? I want to say how many dogs per set do you think is right? Depends the set. And it
Yep.
depends what your and you guys can put your you know,
Yeah, go
obviously
ahead.
what you want to say, but it depends the set and it depends what you're hunting. Cause again, there's groundhog sets where they I've seen groundhog sets where there's two escape routes. I've seen groundhog sets where there's 8 escape routes. And then I could say from experience, we was at a mound in New York. Me, my brother Jamar King, a couple other, and we had there was a fox in the mound, and we had a couple dogs that could fit in there and was chasing the fox around in the mound. But
Yep.
we thought, and we had even my dog, she's a 10-pound Patterdale, but we was like, fuck, we gonna put her on this hole. And she, at least if he goes to that hole, he'll see or he or she, the fox will see that there's another dog there. That's not the hole that you want to go to. You know what I mean?
And keep it in the set.
Exactly. And keep it in the set.
I agree with you.
So, and I'm gonna be honest with you. So now that I'm thinking back, we had what? 5. We had 5 dogs covering holes.
Yep.
And we had 5 dogs covering holes, and one of them dogs was in the. So we had 4 dogs covering holes, 1 dog in the set, chasing the fox around type shit. Little did you know there was a whole nother hole. We thought we checked the whole area. You know, we thought we looked and found every hole. Because even if we didn't have enough dogs, we'll throw. You know, you throw a rock, you throw one of your shovels in front of the hole. You know what I mean? A big rock you could find or whatever. You do something to block the hole where it can't get out that hole. You know what I mean? It got to come towards. It got to deal with the dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's at the end of the day, it got to deal with the dogs.
Personally,
there was a little hole in the corner, ran straight out, gone. The only thing is though, you know, we got all there was all Patterdales. So
you didn't have no lurchers or nothing.
I didn't have my lurcher at the time. No, if
Right.
I had, my Brandon, when I tell you my lurchers, she well in shape.
Hey, I want to see her in the field. That's for sure. I want to see her
Yeah,
play.
yeah. She well in shape as far as health and physical shape. We gotta see how she does when she really gets bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah. So if I had, if we had another dog out there as far as like a catcher or something, but yeah, that fox was gone. I mean,
Yeah.
just by the time we noticed it got out that side hole, it was 20 feet away from us and just bounced and was just gone. And the dogs are still
They still
focusing on
think
the
that.
holes.
Yeah, they still think it's in the set.
Yeah, they're still focusing on the holes. There was maybe one dog that maybe looked like, oh, this shit kind of ran out, but that it was gone.
Yep.
It was gone.
Yeah, I personally run one dog at a hole at a time.
Yeah.
I will brace them. I mean, but shit happens. I mean, I've had dogs slip in and get in on accident, but I try to keep it one dog in the hole. I may brace them. I may have a dog right there at the hole, like if they're digging through a back wall, where it gets tight, I can throw my smaller bitch in. My mod bitch she's
cover escape hole. That's always good.
yeah. I mean, I cover it, and I mean, my lurcher's pretty. There for a while, we went through misses, and then she finally figured it out. But she come from being a nutria dog, so she ain't seen a lot of stuff that I've been throwing at her.
Yeah.
But personally, I run just one dog, and I mean, I prefer a dog for digging. What I do, 13 pounds is like right where the sweet spot, because I feel they can handle anything with any size to it. I've dug coon, I've dug big groundhogs with them, and I think when you get smaller dogs, they can move around more. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think ideally a smaller dog is more for a bolting game. That's just how I feel. There's I know some in the chat mentioned Al's got den terriers, and those den terriers are 6-7 pounds. They're tiny, but they're made to bolt. That's what they're used for. They're bred to bolt game, not necessarily hold it like the terriers do, like the Jags do, or the Patterdales and Jack Russells. Yeah. So I mean, because I originally, I dig a lot with a lot of the Jack Russell people. I mean, they're the ones who taught me a lot of the stuff. I know pretty much all of it. And I've dug with some of the people who have been doing it for, I don't know, Cheryl's been doing it forever, and she used an old knocker box. That's like old technology. Nobody uses that no more.
So what would you say if you're comparing to the I might have asked you this last time. If you're comparing the Jack Russell to the pad as far as like the earthwork.
So the Jack Russell was originally bred to bay. They're not bred to, engage or engage, So a lot of the Jack Russell people prefer a dog to get up to the quarry and just bark. They don't really want the engagement. Personally, me, I've hunted my Jags. I've hunted with a lot of Jack Russells, and they prefer a dog that's not like that's right up on the game, but smart enough to stay back to not get tagged. They don't like, they don't like the doctor and stuff. They get, when we're digging with a lot of the girls, and the new people come out, they'll tell them, when my dog hits the ground, and I'm over the hole, they'll hear my dog start baying, and they're going to dig. As soon as they hear a bay, and it's stopped and they locate it's not moving, they start digging as soon as they hear a bay. Like personally, I like to wait till I hear engagement with my dogs to dig to them, and that's just how I've always been. Now my Jag Pat, she bays the whole time, even if she's got a mouthful. It was the wildest thing. The first time I dug to her, I was like, she is way deep, and we located her, and she was only like 3-4 foot, and we opened up to her, and she had it by the throat and was barking, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not gonna knock her for it. And the other thing about having a bay dog, if say your locator, for God forbid, quits working, you can locate that dog. You can punch holes in the ground, and you can listen to the hole in the ground and tell exactly where that dog is.
Yeah.
I know part of the JRTCA have working judges, and the final test for your working judge is you have to be able to locate a dog and get it out of the ground without a locator on it. Like if the locator would die, like an emergency situation. So, and that's one thing that I'd like to learn I'm getting better with it. I can get pretty close without a locator now. But there's different, you know, you can listen to the first time I had a dog in the ground, I didn't have a locating collar or nothing. And I called James Mills and I was like, what do I do? I said, this dog's gone. He goes, take a rod in the ground and put it in the ground and put your ear to it. And you can hear what's happening underneath there.
Yeah.
Through the you know, your probe or whatever.
You get, I mean, honestly, if you put your ear to the ground, sometimes if they're not too deep, you can hear it.
You can feel it sometimes. You can feel them thumping around.
Also depends on the type of soil. If you've got soft dirt, you can really tell.
Yeah.
And you can feel them thumping. You know, when you get close, you can feel them thumping on the bottom of the hole.
My favorite's when them whistle pigs start whistling. I like hearing that.
Whistle and chatter T, that's my favorite.
Yep. we typically got one dog in the ground. Don't matter what we're doing. The only time we enter a second one is if that dog is maybe young or, you know, something that needs a little more experience, and we'll send an educated dog or an experienced dog in to on coon. That's the only really time we send a second dog in. But even then, or yeah, if they can't get him stopped. But even then, you know, that dog's typically doing what it's supposed to do and holding it up. So we're really not. I'd say about 98% of the time, we're not putting a second dog in the ground unless we absolutely have to. And it's been, you know, an hour, 2 hours, something like that. Then we're like, okay, we're going to get this over with because that dog's got to be getting a little exhausted. But
Brandon, remember that night we killed them coon with coma and we pulled him out and we thought he was dead?
He looked dead. Some bitch wouldn't move.
We pulled him out. Like he went in and like I was not very well equipped, and you know we healed. What did we kill? 13 that night.
Yeah,
we had a truckload, and Brad told him, I said, don't let him go to ground. I don't trust him. And Brandon goes, I said, can you see him? He goes, well, I could see him till I couldn't. So we went. I had to leave to go to the house. I had to go get chainsaw and stuff to cut him out, and we pulled him out. I thought he was dead, and then gave him a honey bun in the truck. And by the time we got home, he was back to his normal dickhead self, growling at everybody. So
yeah, Nick had a little heart attack though.
Yeah, now that I've
a little heart attack.
Yeah, because when we pulled him out, he was like lethargic, like he didn't move.
He was cold and he was limp.
The only time he moved is when we finally broke ground and got the coon out, and it. So I'm trying to think what dog we had on it.
That's crazy.
The dog started fighting. One of the terriers started fighting with it above ground after we pulled the dog out because he was so whooped. We pulled him out, and then we pulled the coon out. And when we pulled the coon out, one of the terriers started fighting it. And the only time Coma got up was literally to fight the coon again because it ran right into him.
Yeah, that thing headhunted him for sure. I think, wasn't it Cowboy that had it?
I think so. I can't remember, though. It was either him or Maud.
Yeah, and it ran right to him. Like that thing like headhunted him, come straight out of the hole and ran straight to him on the leash.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes. You guys know that.
Sometimes you gotta throw shit in there.
Yup.
Where's Furious?
Says only one dog per set. I think you risk the dogs fighting each other on the ground. Yeah.
That's very true.
And you don't need it underground.
And the other thing, you know, if
I agree with what she said. Shout out to you. What's that, Trish? Shout out to Trish. W Dogs, appreciate you for locking in with us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, comment, subscribe always. We here every Wednesday. Go ahead though, fellas.
I was just gonna say I agree with Trish. I just the only time that we've got two dogs in the ground is if we know they're gonna work together. Like we got a couple dogs that will not work together, and those never go on the ground together. If that makes sense. Cowboy dog. Yeah. Brad just said our Jack Russell, my cowboy dog. That shit's a shit show if that ever happens.
Oof, that would be rough.
It's bad when you got two males and you can't even hunt them together because they hate each other.
And I feel like the Jags hold a grudge.
They do.
Like once like we had a mutt at the house, and that they fought one time, and every time you saw him coming, it was on site. I
had a pit bull that did that. Every time he got after that first fight, he saw that same dog. He always wanted blood, and that's like the Yogs. They're not for everybody. A lot of people
100%.
think, oh, they're so cute and cuddly. They look like little Rottweilers. Yeah, until you own one.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do know some Patterdales are like that too. Not all of them, but some of them.
A lot. The Belgium's going crazy right now. A lot of people are buying Belgium Belgiums, and they can't they don't know what to do with them. They can't handle them.
Yep.
See what we got here in the comments, in the chat. Who goes over Ray? There you go. Female I bred 9 pounds. It was rated on Fox. 9 pounds? 101. Hey, I'm not gonna say you don't know what you're talking about, because you definitely know what you're talking about. So hey, I believe it, bro. I mean, if you got if you got a dog that's really about that life, it could happen. I mean, it happened, and 101 has seen it happen. So
is it a female? Yeah. Is it a female still alive till this day? Was that like years ago? And was she like a mixer bae?
I think they're still hunting that dog, actually.
I think so too. Cause like you've seen Echo on that coon, that one that when we went digging that one day, how she just jumped into that tree like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can't imagine that little 9-pound dog on a fox. That fox has got her all day. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to try it, but
depends on the circumstances too. You know, she may be able to dodge, dip, and dive to get away from him.
Right.
I mean, I saw her squeeze out of a dog box door and surprise us.
Gave me a heart attack. I'm glad she didn't do that when we were driving.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. It's just like when we left the house. You said it yourself. Is she gonna come out of that door?
Brand's like, I don't think so. We're digging. Here she comes, just flying right to us. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, do we leave the box open? He said, no, she went through the crate.
Dude, and I mean, it was a coon dog box, but it holds terriers. I didn't think she'd slip through that. It was like what, 2 inches, 2.5 inches that she slipped through.
It was small. I mean,
I
ain't never seen some shit like that in my life.
Crazy.
But like you put her on a groundhog, she's the same way, and she takes a lot of damage. But and that's Woods. You want to pull that picture up that I had?
Let me see.
I got a question for you, Nick, and Woods and the viewers.
Yeah, I should be able to
pull a question tonight. So the picture, if you can pull it up, is Honey. Go ahead.
I'll grab it in a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Do your thing, bro.
So it's Honey, our little 10-pound female on the groundhog. It was the second one of the night, and I had posted on the page, and a couple guys were like, you know, what's she doing? Why is she letting it go? She was letting it go, but that was because she was going in for another bite. And she's a mixer. She's really smart when it comes to mixing. Like, she's watching every shot, every move. And she actually, her bottom lip was about slashed through. I could show that picture, but I don't think you want it on. But if you look
at this picture right here, right?
Yeah, I wish I had a better picture. I mean, I don't know if you can play videos or not, but I probably shouldn't show that. But she, watching her mix bay, like, what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer something that, if you do have a bay mixer bay, whatever you want to call it, do you guys prefer something that watches those shots, watches every move that animal is making, whether that's a coon, groundhog, possum, skunk, hopefully not a skunk, a fox? Like, do you guys like that a dog will maneuver and watch her shots? Or do you guys want that hard dog? I mean, I know we've gone over this a lot, but I'm talking more on the maneuver side of things because me and Jamie were talking about it today. And we like the way she's moving. She's going to last a lot longer watching her shots. Is she not taking as much damage? Yeah, but she's still like that picture I have of her bottom jaw. She's sliced wide open, and she didn't quit. That's all I care about. If you don't quit and you stay with that game, that's all I want. I don't care
Yep,
about the
yep.
fact that you're in there getting your face all messed up. You know, I don't want that stuff. But that's just me. You can call me soft or whatever you want. I want my dogs to last.
Longevity in the
Why
field.
That's only
know.
I only want them to last if I like them. If I don't like them, boo-hoo if they're hard or not, you know?
Yeah.
I'm still going to care about them, but I'm not going to be as like, oh, dude, watch her take those shots and move. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys like a dog that uses her head?
Absolutely. I like brains. Brains over hardness any day of the week.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody
Okay.
says. Brains over
Brains
hardness.
over
And
hardness
I mean, you can get them both. You can get them both.
That's what she is.
But
she's got both.
That's
I know
a lot.
We want a dog that's hard. That's okay, but maybe that ain't for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to call them one-hit wonders because you hunt them one weekend and you're done for 6 weeks.
That's how I am. Like I can't stand a dog that's that hard. It's pointless. Because if I want to hunt it, I'm not going to be able to. I got to grab. Don't get me wrong, but okay. So say you got 5 dogs. Out of those 5, you got 3 that are hard. You do 2 sets per 3 of the 6 sets. The 3 dogs get 2 sets each. They go in there. They get messed up on the first one. Then they get messed up in the second one. You got 3 dogs that are laid up.
For the
And
whole.
you got 2 that are mixed baying. And you can only hunt those because the others are too messed up. You got to wait till they heal up. Some guys, I know they don't wait till they heal up, which is okay. That's what they like, not me.
I know consistently, my little female, I can hunt her day in and day out. I mean, she'll get the first couple of digs of the season, she's going to get wrecked. That's just how she is. And then she backs off and gets smart. And then, I can hunt her every weekend. It's every weekend. I mean, I've hunted her 4 days in a row last year, back to back hard digging, and she was fine. Like I didn't have any issues, no scars, nothing. We dug. What did we end up with? We were digging a bunch of coon.
So you're saying she took the first one, she took a beating, and after that she started using her brain more.
Yeah, she always is.
Yeah.
Especially with her coming off of pups, I know the first hunt, the first time she's in the ground again, she's going to take it. I mean, it's just how she is. I just know it. Like, I've got a gut feeling. Even Roy told me, after Sunday had the litter I got Helga from, he said she just went crazy. Like, she's a totally different animal. I don't know if it's hormone change or what, but after pups, she was hard. Didn't care.
Yeah.
And I have a gut feeling. I know that's how it is, because I try to dig my last dig, first of the year, and then end of March I like to start digging again. It's just I like to give time off, and let my quarry rest, where I hunt. And just give the dogs a break and breed like I did this year. It just happened to work out. Now I'm going to be, and this year I got young dogs to start, so I'm going to be pushing my old G stock back, and working my young stuff, which is hard for me to do. But got to do it.
What do you think? You like a dog with brains?
What'd you say?
You like a dog with brains?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. I like a dog that definitely got some some balls, some heart, and willing to just bang. But if you could be smarter about the situation, that always works.
So anthro-bulldogology, if I say that right, he said smart dogs will go to a quarry's bottom jaw. That's exactly what that female does. She goes for that bottom jaw, and she's always working that throat. Like, and if I get some game up on top with these dogs I'm talking about that we got that mixed bay and that maneuver and use their head while they're engaging, if I get an animal on top, I don't care what it is, they go all in. So, like, if that kind of puts a perspective on a dog using its head underground, and then on top doesn't really use its head. Like it's all in. It commits, but that's also I feel like it's because it can see everything happening.
And it's got room to move. It's not, you know,
And,
confined in
yeah.
that space. It can do that, the jive and dance around a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I know everybody's got their own opinion on everything, and that's okay. Like I'm just sharing what we believe and what we have and what we use. But that's what it's about.
And like we were talking before, you know, Woods and I were talking, you know, like starting puppies, you know, I take a slow approach at it. You know, I show them a mouse when they're young, you know, put them in the X-pen with a rabbit, you know, when they're getting active. And then I'm one of those, like I wait a year, like I let them just be absolute menace for a year, you know, and then, you know, within that year, you know, about the 6 to 8 month mark, you know, I'll take them out in the woods and let them just run. And if we happen to be digging, I'll pack them in and we'll do it. I learned it from the Jack Russell girls, you know, schooling the dog.
Mm-hmm.
We'll open up to the quarry, pull that dog off, and we'll put a pitchfork or something in front of it. So that dog gets, you know, that idea in its head to the angle, you know, and anybody that's dug a lot will tell you, you know, a dog will commit at an angle like this, you know, but getting a dog to commit straight up and down, you won't get that out of a young dog. It's an experienced dog thing.
And that's actually really good you bring that up because the two groundhogs we dug with this bitch Honey in the picture, she actually surprised me. She's a year and a half old. I'd have to check, almost 2. But both sets she went straight up and down. But it's also, I feel like it's probably the fact that she's been in the kennel all winter. You know, she's finally getting out. She smells the quarry, and she's excited to get in there. So I agree with you. There's like a lot of the pups we see and we start, they don't go in a straight up and down. They're nervous.
No, they're real leery about it. So
yeah, you open that entrance and you get it open, they'll enter.
Yeah, and that's why I do a lot of the schooling work, you know. And then, you know, we get that quarry behind, you know, and it gets to that baying and it can grab it, but the quarry can't grab it, you know. And then, you know, the Jack Russell people, they don't want that dog to engage. You know, I prefer my dog to engage. So, you know, when we get about that, you know, they're about a year old, I'll pull the pitchfork and let them have it, you know, let them get a piece of fur. And then I on their first birthday, I like to just have them on their first birthday, go out hunt, and we hammer quarry. It's all there on their own. That's how I like to do it, you know.
Another thing about the pitchfork, I like when we went digging over there on the one farm, I seen them girls doing that. One thing that me and Brad have learned that actually helps get pups started quicker, and I don't know if it'll help you or if you've done it yourself, but and a lot of people might be like, oh, you're gonna lose a groundhog this way. I don't care. This is just how we tried it, and it's worked for us. So the bitch in the picture, Honey, and then her half sister Echo. The way we started them, we had an experienced dog enter the ground when they found the quarry, free cast. They wanted to go down. We let them. We put the pups all on the other holes. What we did was we ended up plugging the other holes. Eventually, once that experienced dog got that groundhog bayed, we plugged those holes. Mm-hmm. We dug down to the experienced dog. What we did was we pulled that dog and grabbed the groundhog and threw it out where the dog entered, and we had a pup ready. We let the pup work the groundhog above ground, and that groundhog 9 times out of 10 heads right back into the hole, the entrance. By doing that, it forces that young dog to think, dude, it's getting away, so they shoot down in that hole. And of course, they come back to where the experienced dog had it cornered and had it open. That's how we get a lot of our dogs to start, because you're going from an entrance through a short tunnel, or even long, whatever it is, and to the spot where we already have it open. So it's not where it's dark the whole time. They're digging to it. They're working their butts off. They can just run through that tunnel to that groundhog because it's already open from the experienced dog. It's already been used, and there's scent there. They get to interact with the animal, and then by the time they get to where we've got it open, we can watch a puppy work. Like, I've got some videos I could show that the groundhog's up in a cubby. We break ground, we get to him, we pull the groundhog out, throw a puppy on it. It makes it back into the entrance. We've done that several times. I don't know if it'll help, but you can try that too.
It's just like just like starting rabbit dogs. You know, they see it go and they just instincts take over.
Right.
Yeah. So Woods, I sent you a
done the
video.
pitch work thing. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think, it's better than using a live trap.
100%. I sent you a video of my Dotson working a schooling hole. If you want to put that up so the guys can see what we're talking about, schooling wise. But that's schooling. I feel like they learn a whole lot more. And the other thing that I found too, you know, with us digging a lot of ditch banks, is if you'll dig into a set and you'll have it to where the quarry's sitting on top of the dog, and that, you know, that quarry's fighting down on the top of their head, a dog won't commit, or they won't, you know, they'll back off a little bit and give them a little bit of room. I've noticed that a lot with dogs, you know, when they get on top of a shelf and they can't fight uphill pretty much, get up in there to get a bite.
Yeah, because if they're on a shelf, it's, especially with a young dog, it can get really tricky for them to get up in there and get down to business.
And they're getting whacked in the back of the head and they don't know what's going on.
Yep.
On top of their head, just getting smoked because they don't know what's going on.
Right. Woods, you still with us? I know you're busy doing some stuff. I didn't know if you were still tuned in.
I think he's coming back in, or he's swapping dogs on a treadmill.
He probably stepped out. But I don't know. We just started doing that towards the end of 2025, taking those pups and pulling them groundhogs out. I know a lot of people don't want to grab them when they're alive, but we do. You know how we are.
You can grab anything that's alive.
Yeah.
The only people I know that'll climb 30 foot up a tree to grab a coon. But no, I think that's a good idea, actually.
And especially if you get a set where the tunnel is, like you were saying, on an angle. If you get a set like that and you've got an experienced dog, you got a puppy, do it. It works so good. And after we do it once or twice, then the dog has to figure it out on its own. We don't do it no more than that. Like, we try not to even mess with the tunnel. Like right now we've got 3 Patterdales that are at like 6 months old. Showed them a coon in a cage. They went crazy over it. They were wanting every bit of it. But we're not going to take it to the extent of putting it in the tunnel and seeing if they'll go in it. Like, we would rather skip the tunnel part and go to the field and do it from there.
Do it natural. Because you can't.
And natural, I feel like natural's better too.
You can't imitate natural. You know, they got so much other shit to dig through. Back walls, corners, up and down, you know.
That's another thing. When we break open like that, we're training that pup. We sometimes, when they're in that cubby, we'll cover them up on purpose and make that Patterdale to dig to it. So
yeah.
And I like people, you know, you get them people that are like, oh my gosh, you're gonna let it get away. Who cares? Like, the puppy's gonna learn quicker by doing the natural stuff for them to get them started.
We'll catch it again, I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's just how it is.
Have you got any on the board yet this year or no?
No, I've been freaking busy. I ain't been able to make it out, and I've been trying to get Athena bred. We were gonna dig last weekend, but we got all that rain, and I just was like, I got a bunch of stuff going on the house.
Where did these tornadoes come from?
Did you guys get hit with any of that?
Our neighbor did. His barn got nailed pretty good, and then it picked up and went to Three Rivers.
That's freaking crazy. That was nuts.
Three Rivers is only 8 miles away. It wiped out Menards.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, are you planning on getting more Patterdales?
I have
about the yogs, but
I have. I'm probably gonna mess with the crossbreeds for a while. Roy's gonna fly out in July and breed Sunday Tacoma, so I'll take another pup out of that litter. I'm just playing with everything, you know. I got trying to get the wiener dog started.
He seems like a gritty little dog. We actually found a Dachshund to breed to one of our pets, so we're gonna see how that turns out. He's a gritty little dog, and he's already working.
Yeah, but
yours, but he seems big, like deep chested, and we're trying to find
deep chested.
We're trying to find something a little bit less chest.
I would like to breed a Benny into him and see if I can bring my size down.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
That we're going to be breeding to.
Sonny's stout and he's got a deep chest, and he'll commit with friends, but he won't do it by himself, really. I mean, I got 2 coon out of a barn floor. He went in on that, and I was pretty impressed. Didn't have a collar on, which was not a good thing, but he went in and committed. I was pretty happy with that.
I think it just cracks me up because of the fact that he is a swap meet special, but he's turning into a dog.
He loves it. He's a gangster. I honestly, like I said, I took him down. He bays hogs great too. I went down to one in Georgia with him.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's good enough to feed. He's just good at everything. Medium good at everything. I'm not gonna say great at everything. He's medium good at everything.
Right.
But I mean, I heard they take forever to start, and of course I didn't get him until he was 2.5, so I'm behind the ball already. I think if I would have got him when he was younger, it would have been better off.
Yeah, when I seen him, I thought about giving him a try, but I was like, I got too many.
Mine was a bet. We were at the swap meet, and I took no money because I didn't want to buy anything. And Jamie goes, bet you can get that wiener dog bought for $100. I said, I bet you I can. I said, but I ain't got no cash on me. He goes, here's $100. And I went over there, and actually Kyle Mack was up there trying. I thought he was going to buy it for sure. And he walked away, and I said, and he walked away, and that girl was there. And I said, give me $100. She goes, no, I mean, we want this much for him. I said, I got $100, and I know you don't want to haul it home. And she goes, yeah, I'll take it. And then she goes, here's papers, and it had all the vet records with it. I mean, shit, coming out of that swap meet for $100 with all the vet paperwork's half the battle. You know what I mean?
Yep. A lot of people don't take vet papers and stuff to those events.
Just dump them, get rid of them.
Dude, I heard that they thought about shutting Shipshawana down because of the fact that so many people take animals there and dump them.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm honestly surprised more don't get dumped at Wolf Lake.
Well, the way the Amish breed the doodles.
Everything. I got a kid that wants to get a jag from me, and I can't do it.
Amish?
Yeah. He hunts a beagle poop.
Oh, if you know anybody looking for a Yog pup, we bred Cowboy to that Coco bitch from James Mills' stuff. She's Azra and Noro, I believe. I could be wrong. I'll have to look at her paperwork, but the pups are nice. I kept one for myself, and they're going to be some nice little dogs. But
how big do you think they're going to get?
The 2 are going to be right at that, I want to say 16, 18 pounds. The other one, she looks like she's going to be freaking massive. I can't even tell you what she's going to be. She doesn't have a lot of like big feet, but she's got long legs and a big head. And then the one I kept is like going to be probably diggable, and she's compact. But he's got 3 females left.
Yeah. Did Jimmy end up with Arrow then, or is Arrow still up there?
No. So Jimmy has that one dog I'll message you about later. But Arrow went back to James Mills. And I don't know where he went from there.
Copy.
My dad wasn't doing nothing with him. He told us to find him a home, so we called James Mills and told him he could have him back. But when I tell you, you want a little male dog that's small, you know what size he is. That little dog there is all about the groundwork, and I'm not kidding. And it seems like he pushes more than he actually digs. I don't like a dog that pushes, Arrow. For me, I don't like a dog that pushes more than breaking that ground around them, because they'll get in tighter spots and they'll get themselves stuck. That's just my opinion. And from what I've seen with ours, I like them dogs that'll break the ground around them and work into it.
Give them room.
Yeah.
And not just lock themselves into head and shoulders.
Yeah, but not also waste their time. like getting to him. You know, like I don't care if they push a little bit, but if they're pushing like Wahoo, he pushes the whole time, and we love him. But to push the whole time, we get nervous because, you know, you don't know if he's going to push himself into a pipe and get stuck like Dan had that one Pat get stuck in the pipe at the trial. That could have been a shit show.
Well, he had that shit show up there by him in the tile.
Oh, yeah.
That was
you
a
went
bad
up there,
deal.
didn't you?
I called Caden as soon as I saw it, and I told him, because, you know, he drives chickens with Jamie. I told him, I said, just take my rig up there. Everything you need is in there, and I'll be up after work. And I was going to pick up a sewer camera at Harbor Freight, and by the time I got on the highway, they had got them both out. But
there were two of them?
Because
was it his Achilles dog, or was it Dahmer and the other one? I wish he was on tonight. I'd ask him.
It wasn't Termite. No, it was Achilles.
It was Achilles?
I believe it was Achilles, yes. That was his real small bitch, right?
I know. Oh, no. Achilles is a small male. Termite. It had to be Termite, and no, because she was just a puppy at the time.
I think it was Achilles. Because Dahmer ended up going in behind it.
So it was Dahmer.
Dahmer was the back dog. That was the last dog they got out.
And he's a lot bigger. I want to say, huge. I think he said last time I talked to him, he was like pushing 20 pounds maybe.
Yeah, he's big, but he works. I mean, he
also has a lot of leg on him too.
Yeah.
So he can get into tighter spots way easier, I feel like. I like his Dahmer dog. Even though him and Cowboy decided to take a tussle one day evening, we were digging with him. Them little rips. And then, of course, you know, Gunner, he goes and decides he wants a piece of it. So then we got 3 dogs all hooked up on each other. So we had to break that up pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how the puppy works out that Dan gave Caden. I'm excited for that, for Caden too.
Oh, you're going to love it. I promise you. Dan has got some good Patterdales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of my stuff that came from Ray is out of Craver's stuff too. So
Rob Craver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I seen Craver and Bates were digging, what was it, last week or something?
They got down in Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, they were down in Illinois. I thought they were up here.
I think they're in Illinois, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I got my Pat I got from Ray. He's a woolly bastard. He is very hairy. I'm shaving him down this summer. I'm just going to keep his head rough.
How many pounds?
Oh, he's small. He's real small. He got no chest. He's all leg, no chest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and he's I don't know. Buddy was out there. He goes, man, that dog's huge. I said, grab him once. It's all hair.
That's another thing, like broken coats. You can't tell. I think it's harder to tell if they actually have some weight on them unless you grab them and put your hands on them.
100%. Yeah. Makes them look bigger.
Yeah. That was one surprise to me to the Patterdales was when I seen, I think it was Chris Atkins, female. Oh man, I know it starts with a B, but I forget her name. She was broken coat, and I thought she was huge until I put my hands on her. She wasn't big at all. I mean, she's still got leg on her, but I don't think she's as big as she looks, you know.
Yeah. I had a girl come down from Michigan, Cassie. She brought her was it Rip? Yeah, it was Rip. And that dog is big as Cowboy or bigger, and I had that thing in the ground.
A Pat
deep.
Or
Yog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo. I haven't dug to Cowboy. I don't plan on it. I dug to him from 6 months to almost a year old, and then I quit. But I've noticed a problem. Like, we use him to mark, and if I don't take him out and hunt him by himself and give him game, he gets really agitated. And, like, he doesn't quit marking for us, but he goes farther than what I want him to. Like, he usually stays within 50 yards, but that dude there will literally go, you know how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
They
That's
get
like
agitated.
that's like when I free cast. You know, I like free cast. I like keeping a dog within 50 yards. 50 is perfect because, you know, you can get to them in a hurry if you have to.
Well, you know me, I don't care how far they can go as long as I got a collar on them.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could.
It also depends, because like our 9-pound female, I like knowing where she's at all times.
100%. Them small dogs, I think, too, you want to keep them closer for sure.
Yeah.
Because she's running through them sets.
No kidding. That, and then like last year, she bolted a lot of groundhogs because we didn't have dogs tied up on exits. And this year, or towards the end of the year, she actually wasn't bolting any. We had her on a lot of groundhogs, and she was doing really good holding them. So this year we're gonna start taking more terriers at a time, but not free cast. Like, we'll free cast her and maybe one other one, and then once one of them enters, we're gonna put the however many terriers we need on the exits. So if she ends,
instead of blocking them with stuff.
Yeah, instead of blocking them with stuff, we're just gonna tie terriers up and see if she can do a little bit better job than just trying to grab it and get it to bolt. Because like she'll fight it for a while, but then she I don't know if she's letting them go or what's going on, but then they end up bolting.
Well, sometimes they give them the slip when they get a bunch of pressure on them. You know that too. You know.
Yeah.
You start putting pressure on them, and boy, they're looking for the nearest exit.
Yeah. I just like that she can. Like, I know a lot of people like their dogs around, like you were saying, 13 pounds. That's what me and Brad think. 13 to 12 pounds is perfect for what we do and what we deal with as far as sets. But like with her bolting, it is nice because you don't have to dig as much. But at the same time, like lately, we've wanted them to just hold them up.
Oh, look.
So that's why I want to bring them in to put more terriers on the exits.
Yeah.
You backwoods? I thought I heard him.
Yeah, I prefer to bolt my stuff. Bolt it to the lurcher. That's my favorite. When my lurcher's not missing.
Hey, we ain't afraid of work, but at the same time, if the job gets easier, why not?
100%.
Lurcher's got to have something to do.
Hell, I like mine when they draw them sometimes too.
Yep.
That's great also.
Hey, what's up? You're back.
Yeah, I had to go deal with my son real quick. Still awake.
You're good? We're just talking.
Yeah. Brandon, I have the ugliest lurcher you ever see in your life at my house right now. He's got a mullet.
Hey, Calvin just hopped on and said it was Dahmer and Termite. I thought I know Dahmer for sure. It's definitely Dahmer. I know Dahmer was in there. It was just Termite I was curious about, and he said, yeah, she was in there.
Yeah, Dahmer was the last dog that got out, but it didn't have a collar on it.
Not only that, like, he's had bad luck last year with his dogs. I don't know what it is.
It goes in spurts, I feel. The one thing, like, you know, the tiles by us is our biggest enemy around us.
Well, that's like we were down in your area on the trial, and he had, I don't know what dog it was, but they ended up in a freaking tile, and we told them, that group, before they went over there, that we've never dug over there. So, you know, be prepared for whatever you're about to get into. And then he goes and, like, we're all back for lunch, and he's supposed to be back, and we're all wondering where he's at. And then I think it was either you or somebody come up to us and was like, oh, his dog got stuck in a tile. We were like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah, they had a rough
we wish you would, like, of course it was kind of it was kind of our fault because we didn't let them know that if they do run into a tile or an issue with their dogs, call us, because we had guys right in the area with excavators and stuff. We could have easily come out and busted that open fast for them.
Yeah, I mean, we were all right there. We were all within 10 minutes of him.
Yeah, we all had enough hands to get that dog out quick, even with that excavator. But just the fact of knowing it was there was our comfort zone of digging.
Yeah,
Like
that's like
that's
all.
plus when you got farmers by you they've got the equipment to help you out. They're willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's like
sometimes. Go ahead.
That's like the girls the Jack Russell girls I dig with, they stress walk property, and I do it. My first time I get onto a property, I walk with my lurcher. I'm looking for tile heads. I'm looking for drain heads. I'm looking for trying to figure out where that line is just in case. Hell, I was digging with Caden and his dad, and I had Athena in the field not the field that we dug in, but the one across the road. And I hit a clay tile, and I called the farmer. I said, "Do you know this is tiled?" He goes, "I never tiled it." He said, "What is it?" I said, "It's clay tile." He goes, "Oh." I didn't even know that was there, and luckily she didn't go in. We busted through it, and she was underneath it. But yeah, that made me nervous. So like I walk all my properties before I even put a dog down.
Yeah, and it's like that property we sent Dan's group to. We were gonna check it. We were gonna make sure it was good, but we just got the permission. The trials were happening. We were excited, so we're like, the hell with it. They can go over there because they're probably gonna run into some stuff we wish we could have. But it's not about us. It's about the people that come. So we wanted to make sure they have fun. Didn't you go to your spot though?
Yeah, we hunted that ditch where we smoked all them possum that one day.
Yeah.
In the tree.
That's what I thought. And like that I felt bad for Dan because I was like, dude.
And I drove right past him on the way back up to your guys' place. I didn't know anything was going on.
Right. Hey, Woods, you on right now? You on?
But that's the one thing, like I got people. I had a guy message me the other day asking me how to keep a dog out of a hole.
You can't if they're bred for it. I mean, you can to an extent.
I told him, I said, run a full-size garment on him. It'll slow him down for you to get there.
Yeah. Just don't do what so that Jack Russell we got gunner, Nate Valley and Mark Thompson went and cut his tail really short, like he's almost a bobtail. And maybe it wasn't them, it was the previous owner that had him. But even with a collar on, it's hard to get a hold of him because he ain't got no handle.
Yeah, that's like I docked my puppy's tails what was it, last week? Talking about stressful, man. Because once you cut it, it's done. You can't put it back on. So I think I got enough tail on them. We'll see.
Yeah, I made sure this last litter with Yogs would have a good handle on them. I took 2/3 off, so they're gonna have a third on them.
Yeah, so I
think that's a good size, but like our Pat right here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm gonna see if I can get you to. She's got a tail to where I can already get half of it in my hand. It's kind of hard to see. But
we call her. Comment in the way. What litter is that out of? Is that out of the?
So it's out of Sweet Potato Pie, Brad's Sweet Dog, Patterdale, and then Wahoo.
Was that the one that you guys had at the trial? Was that the litter you guys had at the trial?
The puppy?
Yeah.
Or are you talking to parents?
No, that wasn't that cross, was it?
Oh no, we ended up. No, this is out of Sweet, and so that cross that you seen at the trial was Echo. Echo and Wahoo. Basically, dad back to daughter. And then we're gonna outcross. But she's got I'm gonna see if I can put her up. She doesn't like hard surfaces. She's gonna.
You're gonna have to hold her up by her head so I can see her. The comment bubbles in the way. I was trying to get rid of it.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
She's got her baby teeth coming through, or her adult teeth coming through. If you can see that. Oh, hang on. See if I can get this right.
Yeah.
But she's got like a rough coat on top. She's almost like a wire hair, but it's coming from her grandmother. But she's a little nervous being on hard our desktop, but she'll come around. We've been messing with her a lot. And
Yeah,
then we got 3 out of Sweet, 2 males, and then her. We call her Sparky, and then one of them's called Danny. We don't know if we're gonna cull him yet or not. He's probably the hardest out of the litter. Reason I say cull is because he's got a bad underbite. So, but we're glad we ended up at least one female we can outcross with if she turns out.
Yeah.
So, but yep. We're really excited for these puppies. They're gritty.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I got high hopes for this cross, but I don't know. Like I said, could go either way.
I wouldn't worry about coming and Athena. I'm sure they'll make a good cross. And you'll
That
get
one-
your size.
Yeah, the one that I got back, from Sophia, that thing, I tried killing it one day. I hunted it 4 days hard in 90-degree weather, and it put me in the truck.
That'll happen.
I told the guy that was with me, I said, I've hunted this dog last 4 days. It's either going to quit or die. She didn't either. She put me in the truck. I was done. Had enough of her.
Dude, that's like Gunner. You ain't got an E-bar collar on him. He'll freaking scream his head off the whole time you're driving. Drives us nuts. He's the dog we put in sets we're not sure about.
Yeah.
I mean, we still care about him, but there's still some spots where we're like, where's a good spot that if we don't care to lose a dog, or which dog to use that we don't care really about. Like, we love the way he works in a set, but at the same time, it's like, if we lose him, we lose him, I guess.
You're going to go out with their boots on. They're going to go out with their boots on.
Yep.
That's just how it's the way it is.
I didn't realize that we got 3 dogs with three different dogs with 3 fox. That's pretty cool to me. Hopefully we can get some more in the bag this year.
Man, I was checking all my fields by me. I had a fox set, and I screwed up and dug it towards the tail end of the fall, and I think I pushed the fox out. And I've been taking my drone over there and flying it, just seeing if it was kicked out, and it hasn't been kicked out, which sucks, but we'll see. I know there's always a litter down the road from the house. Just haven't figured out where the den is.
Well, all of the ones that we've done haven't even been in summer. They've all been in the winter.
Yeah, you got to dig them fox in the winter. The nastiest, shittiest day you can think of, that's when the fox is going to be home.
Is the Anthro Bulldogology said, is undershot a throwback trait from the Bulldog side of APBT? I always say it wrong, too. I don't know what he's referring to. Undershot. Did you say something about undershot?
I think he meant the underbite. I don't know.
Oh, the underbite? Sure. I don't know where that's coming from. Jamie can answer that better. But it's like I told Jamie, if he doesn't work out, which right now he's the hardest in the whole litter. Neuter him and hunt him and keep him in our yard is about as far as he's gonna go. Or we're gonna call him. It really just depends on what we feel. He said, underbite. That's
I don't.
To me and Brad, my brother, we're gonna keep him and see how he turns out. But if we don't like some of the traits, we're calling him. We're not gonna hang on to him. There's no point. We don't believe in holding the bad, and I know you don't either, Nick.
Costs just enough to feed a good one as it does a bad one. Or a bad one to feed a good one. Took me a long time to realize that.
Yep, that's very true. Shit, I realized that early on when I had coon dogs and I was getting all the shitty ones from guys.
I can't say much. I packed 25 head of coyote hounds for a long time. And then Leland's like, Leland goes, you hunt 4 dogs. Get rid of the rest of them. I'm like, you're right. And then after that, I moved them on.
Yeah. He said that let me read it again. Usually undershot APBTs bite hard. We put a cold coon, I'm just going to say it like that. We killed a coon and put it in for him. And, they were chewing on it, tearing it up. and I'm guessing he's probably got the hardest bite because of the way he is. And there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing bad with getting a couple culls out of a litter. It just shows that, it's time to outcross. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Not every dog's gonna make it out of a litter. That's the biggest thing, Everybody says, "Oh, it's all of them are gonna make it." You're gonna have a cull in there eventually. It just happens.
Yep. And if somebody comes to me and says that every dog comes out of a litter, every litter of their stock, I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm
not saying I don't believe it, but I want to see it.
That's like this first, this litter of Athena dogs. This litter, I called as soon as I made the cross. Well, when you guys brought Helga in, I told them, I said, when I breed Athena, I'll send one to you and Travis both. And I told Roy, I said, when she gets out there, do what you're doing. If I want feedback. That's why I'm placing them where I did. I didn't have any for sale. I had plenty of homes. But I'm going to run it back and see what happens.
That's another thing is like when you got a good bitch and a good stud, it's hard to, you want to hunt them. People want them. But at the same time, you don't want to put her through that stress of a puppy mill style of, oh, I need as many puppies as I can get because you want to hunt her.
Yeah, I'm gonna run it back, this next heat cycle and then hunt her for a year. And then, by that time the pups will be ready to breed or,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I just know some guys will breed and breed and breed and breed and breed, and they never really get to hunt that bitch, which is, I understand. Like, they got to go for the breeding program, but at the same time, like, the way I feel, we got to give the dog some justice and be able to hunt it.
Yeah, because the thing's going nuts being in there with them pups.
Well, one thing I noticed is, like, and it's up to
Sure.
you, we take game. If we've got a pregnant female, like a groundhog, cut the teeth off and give it to the female that's got pups on her, just to help get some of that testosterone and that energy and adrenaline built up out of them. Or even just kill a coon and give it to her and play tug of war with her, just to kind of burn some of that up.
Yeah.
I don't know how I know a lot of guys don't do that, but that's what we do.
For sure. Oh.
Well, we also don't breed like crazy. We just breed for ourselves. That's literally.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's like I got people wanting tag puppies, but I ain't gonna breed her until I have at least 10 homes. Right. I know I'm gonna have a huge litter.
Yep. And if Biggs wouldn't be so willing to help us out, we want our mouths bred to calm them down a little bit. It might not happen, but we at least hope so. He's got homes for a lot of the pups. Brad will probably keep one out of Furious. I might keep one out of Luna, but give us some more lurchers to work with.
I got 2 here at the house. Well,
what's that other one that you
got? So she's bull stag. And then when I went out and brought back my pup, I brought back 3 lurchers. One went to Caden, that's here, and then I kept the older male. He's nice. But he's just ball energy all the time.
Yeah.
And I got
go ahead, Nick.
The girls that I hunt with, actually, they're lurchers out of this stud dog that I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wood, you back on?
Yeah, man.
Somebody else is wanting to hop on. I didn't know how much longer you're gonna have this going.
How long we been on? We've been on for 2.5 hours. Yeah, we ain't gonna be enough for too much longer.
All right. I'll just have to hop on next weekend or something.
Yeah, we could definitely get him on next weekend for sure.
I'll hit you up.
Yeah, of course.
As soon as we get off here. But yeah, I think he's got 2 Patterdales himself, but he's had more Patterdales in the past, so he'll be a good dude to talk to.
Yes, sir.
Why not? Well, here to talk about the Patterdale, as you all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you wanted to get into more Nick or Brandon. I was, letting you guys vibe out. But yeah, we've been on there for what, 2.5 hours?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, did you wanna say anything else, or Nick, or you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm good. Unless somebody's got questions for us, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open book. You know, you can hook me up on Facebook. It's Nick Fox on Facebook, and like I said, if you're up in Indiana or Michigan, you want to hunt, I mean, I'm always down to run dogs. I don't give a shit. I mean, Brand's the same way. So,
Yep.
and I'm always down to take new people out. You know, I'm not a professional, but I know quite a bit. I mean, I've got plenty of digs under my belt since I've been doing it. So, and I like I said, I got Jag Terriers. You want to see earthworking Jag Terriers? There's not many guys in the country working them, so be something to see. You know, something different.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Brandon, you want to say anything before we get up out of here?
Just keep your dogs in the ground. Anybody wants to come hunt with us, you're more than welcome to, just like Nick said.
Doors
All right.
always open. Doors always open.
Anybody wanting to get into it too, new people that maybe haven't done it. Me and my brother might not be the people to get with or whatever if you don't want to, but I know some old guys that can mentor you through it.
Yeah, I know a lot of mentors too.
Sure.
Always got to keep them in mind.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. But hey, see you guys next week. I appreciate everyone for locking with us. Appreciate you two for being here with us all night, and talking dogs, talking Patterdale Terrier. Like, come, subscribe, tell a friend. Again, thank you guys for always locking with us. And thank you too for talking dogs, talking Patterdale with me.
Thanks for
Again,
having
shout
us.
out to everyone else. Where you go? Go ahead.
I just said thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
No problem,
for
man.
sure.
No problem. You guys.
Like I said, whenever I'm down to hop on.
Will do. I'll keep. We'll get you back on here for sure. ASAP.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we're doing the we're doing the group thing now. So appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to everyone coming through. Live your life, dogs. Peace.
Yeah.
Late.